voice of the beat. You know what I won't blaze up. Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wow, 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 for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy. For your boy. Hustle for your boy. Fix it for your boy. Drop it for your, lift it up.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it.
Good morning. Sorry, y'all. I'm eating the last bit of these grapes. Good morning, y'all. Get up in here. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Shout out to everybody in the building. We have a little show today. I ain't gonna lie, it's been slow in the media. So there wasn't really a whole lot to discuss. But whatever we can discuss, we will discuss. And I wanted to kind of touch on a few things. Now, who is this Tay boy and what did he do? That's a real question. Tay, I guess he received 80 years in prison or something like that. Sorry, y'all. I hadn't looked into it, but I don't want to talk about it because I'm not really too abreast on it. I'll look into it and probably we could talk about it tomorrow. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. Y'all get in here. Sorry, get in here, like the video. He killed the elderly man. I heard about that. But I don't know the specifics of what's going on. So we'll get into it tomorrow. I got to get into a little more research during the robbery. Wow. Oh, wow. I didn't hear about Meg being sued by her hairstylist. What'd they say? Didn't she have the boy, the gay guy was her hairstylist, and then they broke up and then they kind of got back. You know what I'm saying? Then he put it in the song. He's so dumb. He deserves everything he getting. Child, home invasion. Okay, I'll look into it, y'all. But today, we're going to talk about Toni confronts the lady who robbed her, and they have a tussle. It wasn't a fight. It was a tussle. We're going to get into that. I wanted to give an update on this daycare abuser. So remember this lady who found out her husband was abusing the children in her daycare, and she ended up popping him, but he ended up living and he went to jail, and now they sentenced him to life in prison. We're going to get into that. Diddy hired Young Thug's lawyer. I don't know if I want to touch on Ray J because it's just so annoying. Also the space people, Katy Perry, and what's the lady name? Gayle King, and all of them are getting backlash for going into space for 5 minutes. We're going to talk about that. And then I want to get into Judge Joe Brown's his take on this case. I just want to say this. I urge my people, because what I noticed is on this video that he did with the real Dana on YouTube, it's almost like he knows more details that I haven't heard of, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like some of the things, when I look in the comments, it's mostly clear people like, oh, we love Joe Brown. Judge is always fair. Oh, da 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 da. And I'm noticing that depending on what you say, if it benefits the clears, they are all for it. If it sounds good to them, then they are all on your side, all types of stuff. And again, all these celebrities, ex-celebrities, Freemasons, all of these people are compromised. So I really take what I can. I kind of eat the meat and spit out the bones, because Judge Joe Brown is not always wrong. I do want to say that. But ultimately, I feel like it's kind of dangerous the way that he's going because, again, he getting knowledge that I had no clue of and most people don't. And I want to get into a few of the things that he said. Also, the FBI is investigating the people who put out that lady's information and doxed her. I hope they find every single one. And I'm talking about the judge. I'm talking about the judge. Okay, we're going to get into all of that. No, he's not a practicing judge anymore. He's not a practicing judge anymore. And again, I just feel like it's dangerous to Black people. You know what's dangerous to me? Other than clear people who who practice racism, not bigotry. Calling the N-word and all that stuff, yeah, that's bigotry. I'm talking about clear people who practice racism is dangerous. But you know what's more dangerous to me? Negroes who act like we've surpassed that and it doesn't exist. Because inadvertently, you are a helping hand to the people who practice the racism. Does that make sense? But we're going to get into it. Again, I'm not saying that Judge Joe Brown is always wrong. Honestly, I don't listen to him a lot, but when I have listened to him, he makes sense. And again, maybe he knows some information that we don't know, stuff that he was mentioning I hadn't heard. But we're going to get into it. I just feel like this right here, especially coming from a prior judge, is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. But we'll get into it. Y'all get the likes up on the video. Get the likes up on the video. Girl, today Wednesday. Girl, today not Tuesday, right? Yeah, today Wednesday. Wrong. Girl, don't push us back one day, girl. Bring us forward, honey. We're gonna get into it. Y'all get the likes up on the video. Exactly. And let me talk about this Lil Wayne talking about he never experienced racism. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but Lil Wayne was like 9 years old when he got with Baby. Like 9, 10. Lil Wayne has never really experienced the city of New Orleans. Let's really be clear about it. And think about it. He's in the house as a child playing with a blicky. And a clear man is the one who comes and saves him. So in Lil Wayne's mind, a 9 or 10-year-old who got with Baby and had been gone away ever since, he may not have ever experienced racism. And in his subconscious, the clear people are his saviors. Because remember, according to him, when he popped himself, the clear police officer is the one who came and whisked him away and carried him off and was like, no, we're going to save this child. Da, 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 da. So you know what? That really might be his experience. But I'm going to just tell you right now, Lil Wayne has never really truly experienced the city of New Orleans. When you get on at 10 and 11 years old, you don't get to really experience the city of New Orleans. He has very vague memories from a little bitty boy. But for the most part, he was a child when Baby and them picked him up. So, you know, a lot of people don't understand why he doesn't have loyalty to the city. It's because he was born there, but he wasn't New Orleans didn't raise Lil Wayne. Okay? And these are the facts. Sorry, y'all. I got some in my teeth. These are the facts. New Orleans did not raise Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne did attend school, and I'm using the quotation marks because remember, Lil Wayne my age, so I know all about him. Big Toya, all in my age. Yes, Lil Wayne was enrolled in school, but girl, Lil Wayne ain't ever go to school. He was supposed to go to Abe, and he was out there whenever he would come to New Orleans. Whenever he would come to New Orleans, girl, he was out there riding in Bubble Eye Lexus and picking up girls. Lil Wayne ain't ever attend no school in New Orleans. Okay. So yeah, I just want y'all to get that clear. Lil Wayne is another one, but again, in his situation, he's never experienced racism, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. But he was a little bitty boy when he got up out of there. So yeah. If he went to college, baby, that was after me. That was after he was already Lil Wayne, like famous Lil Wayne. But we'll get into it. Y'all get the likes up on the video. Shout out to everybody in the building. And I want to start off with Diddy. Let's get Diddy out of the way. Of course he can read. Listen, this is the crazy part. Lil Wayne is extremely intelligent. Like, he's uber intelligent. Like, don't get it twisted. Lil Wayne is very smart. Very, very smart. And you know what I've noticed too? People who are less systematically educated are typically more wiser. College don't make you smart. It just means you can pass tests and retain information. And this is coming from somebody with 2 degrees. So I don't want y'all to say I'm anti-college or college shaming or degree shaming. Y'all know y'all get to add names and stuff. But college don't necessarily make you the smartest. It just means you can retain information when it's given to you. And it also means that you can pass the test. That's all that means. But it doesn't make you the actual smartest person. Now, depending on the field you are, can you be more knowledgeable in said field? Of course. If you practice law and you went to law school, of course you may know more law than me. But let's be really clear. I know some dudes in prison that can run circles around your best attorneys. Did y'all catch that? I know some dudes in prison that can run circles around your best attorneys, and they have not attended these institutions, okay? So with that being said, it's not necessarily about the institutionalization, of going to college. It's just about applying yourself. You know what I'm saying? And being able to understand what you read and apply it to life. Okay. So yeah. And with that being said, like Lil Wayne would be the prison dude who studied law versus the guy who goes to the Ivy League college. Does that make sense? So that would be the Lil Wayne. He's undeniably extremely intelligent. You know what I mean? You gotta be intelligent to put words together like he has. You that ain't the act. You gotta, the way Wayne do double entendres and put metaphors, and that ain't no regular person. And this is from somebody who used to write poetry. That ain't no regular person. So he's very intelligent. And it's just that he didn't have to go to school to gain said intelligence. Okay. Yay. But no, seriously, they got some dudes in prison that are running circles around these your best lawyer outside, baby. Baby, them niggas who sit down and ain't got nothing else to do but read. Girl, the ones who get in that library and all they do is go through book after book after book after book. Girl, please. Run circles around them boys that went to them Ivy League colleges, girl. I'm just saying, let's really be clear about it. Let's really be clear as we can, because we Negroes over here. You feel me? I mean, we can't be too clear because we are Negroes. But at the end of the day, y'all get the lights up because we can't be clear because I'm black.
Do your hand like this. Yeah, gotcha. Cause I'm black, nigga the black, the nigga black, the black, the nigga I'm black, nigga the black, the nigga black, the nigga black, the nigga I'm black and I'm brown, I'm black and I'm brown, I'm black and I'm brown, I'm black and I'm brown. You got to shake, they want the black, cause I'm black, nigga the black, the black, I can never be white, the white. Shake, if your leg, wiggle, lift your leg, bounce, lift your leg, hustle, lift your leg, if your leg is around, let me see you put your hands up. Let me see you put your, if your leg is around, let me see you put your hands up. Put your hands up, man. Make that booty go round and round. I'm Louis Vuitton Brown. Make that booty go round and round, man, cause I'm Louis Vuitton Brown.
I just love them. Hold up. Hold your hand like this. Yeah. Cause I'm black, Biggie Diggy, the black, the Biggie black, Biggie, the black. I can never be white, the white. And the one in the background, I love that little video. I got an honorable mention. Hold on. Did y'all get the likes up on the video? Please get the likes up on the video. Let me read some of these super chats before we get started. Dorian Span, thank you for the super chat. Good morning, Boo and Dolls. Good morning, beautiful. How are you? I hope everything is well on your end. I hope everybody's having a great day. Happy hump day. Martavius, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Nicole Oxendine. I hope I said your name. Oxendine. I hope I said it correctly. If not, I apologize. Hey, boo, I started working overnight and today I get to see you. Anywho, my birthday was Monday. If I can make a request, I would like to hear I'm Black, please and thank you. Girl, I just played it. See how that go? We're going to run it back for you, though. Hold on, fast. Stay right there. Courtney, thank you for the super chat. Or thank you for being a member for 3 months. As far as education, there's theory and there's practice. Experience is golden. Facts. And you know how you can tell that? Think about it like this. When people be when people be putting out for jobs, they got the people who coming in with all of this education, and then they got people with experience. Why do you think that a job wants a combination of both? Or personally, sometimes I've seen a job would rather have more experience on hand than education, because theory is what you get when you go down to the schoolhouse. Practice is what you get in real life, okay? I'm so glad you said that, Courtney. Honestly, that's why, one of the reasons why they took trade schools and trades away from people, especially the Blacks, is because they want us to be manipulated mentally into believing and thinking the way they want us to think. Because school is college is definitely a place where you are indoctrinated with a bunch of BS. But ultimately, also to get you dependent on the system, right? And when it comes to education or theory versus practice, theory is good, but practice will always outdo theory. Always, every single time. So yeah, thank you so much for saying that. And Nicole, happy belated birthday. Run that black back one more time. Happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm sorry I missed your birthday, but I'm glad you are here, honey. Happy birthday. I hope you many more. Everybody in the chat who might be celebrating, who I missed, happy birthday to you guys too. Get the likes up. This is the opportunity to get the likes up, okay? Get the likes up so we can start the show. Come on now, y'all acting crazy. Get the likes up, girl.
Do your hand like this. Yeah, gotcha. Cause I'm black, nigga the black, the nigga black, the black, the nigga I'm black, nigga the black, the nigga black, the nigga black, the nigga I'm black and I'm brown, I'm black and I'm brown, I'm black and I'm brown, I'm black and I'm brown. You got to shake, they want the black. Cause I'm black, nigga the black, the nigga black, I can never be white. Shake, if your leg, wiggle, lift your leg, bounce, lift your leg, hustle, lift your leg, if your leg is around, let me see you put your hands up. Let me see you put your, if your leg is around, let me see you put your hands up. Put your hands up, black. Make that booty go round and round. I'm Louis Vuitton Brown. Make that booty go round and round, man, cause I'm Louis Vuitton Brown.
Happy birthday, Nicole. Happy birthday, and many more. I seen this super chat. We got to talk about it. Carolyn Johnson, thank you for the super chat and thank you for the question, because I meant to come back to y'all and tell y'all. She says, hey, boo, I don't know if you spoke on it since Friday, but did your aunt get back with you about old Miss Bessie from Educational Fridays? Yes, she did. I'm so happy that you brought this up, because when I got off the phone, off the Educational Friday, I sent my auntie the documentary. Y'all, let's give a little context before we get started. So for you guys who weren't here for Educational Friday, I did an Educational Friday on the standoff between the Black Panthers in New Orleans versus the police, New Orleans Police Department. Now, my aunt, my grandmother's sister, was one of the people who were in the standoff. Like, they were popping back and forth with blickies. Bah, 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 bah. Now, my auntie didn't do all that. She ain't do that. She was innocent. But never the case, she was involved, okay? Allegedly. So anyway, there was a documentary that I was showing everybody about the situation, and I sent it to her. I said, well, auntie, I said, I wanted to send you this. I said, this is a documentary I talked about, and maybe you can recognize some of the people in the doc. Well, let me make you laugh without really making you laugh, Fefe. Here you go. first and foremost, let's start here first. I'm glad you brought this up because now we about to get into it. Because see, the psyop is real. So this guy right here, this is a guy who came from New York. Just like, remember we were talking about the Carmelo Anthony case. I don't know if we talked about it over here, but apparently there's some guy who dropped out of the sky from nowhere. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows who he is. They say he might be a tether or something like that, but now he's standing beside Carmelo Anthony, and they say he has a very questionable background. Well, okay. This guy right here, when I sent my auntie the doc, she said, I remember him. She said it was always something very questionable about him because he come from New York and nobody had never known him. Nobody had never seen him before. Nobody had never known anything. Now, according to this brother right here, he joined the Black Panthers chapter, and then he came to New Orleans to help open other chapters, allegedly. But my auntie said they always thought, and not just her, the other Panthers always thought that there was something very off about this brother here. Nobody knew him. Nobody had never seen him prior to this whole Panther movement. All of a sudden, some dude from New York just pops up talking about he's starting the Black Panthers in New Orleans. She said, now, even though they did what they did because it was about the free breakfast program, it was about the free breakfast program, and it was about the the after school and all that stuff. She said it just always never sat right with her and other people about this brother right here. Now, take that information and do with it as you please. Because I told her, she called me about him specifically. When I sent her the link, she said, that's him. Nobody never knew where this man came from. Nobody never knew, okay? So, that's one. Bessie. Now, Bessie is the person who was allegedly popped and unalived. And when she seen this lady on that, let me get Bessie on here. Now, when she seen, hold on, where Bessie at? When she seen, was that her name? Betty was her name. This lady right here. When she seen Betty has an identical story to the lady who got popped 3 months pregnant and unalived. Now, according to my aunt, she said that somebody else, another Panther, told her that Betty was popped and unalive, but she said she's not sure if this is her, but the story lines up. So she's saying that I don't know why they would tell us that Betty got popped and was unalive if that's her. She was like, but the stories line up. So listen, I'm saying all that to say this. Listen, all of our movements have always been co-opted. Every single one of them. I'm not saying that any of these people are guilty of anything. I'm just telling you, you got to go back to Educational Friday to understand what was going on, okay? Yeah, the WIC program, you got to go back to Educational Friday to see what was going on. It was, and this is the one thing that stood out to me. She told me, she said, I found it odd that all of those people got shipped up to Angola, imprisoned, and let out without a record. Hey, all of them people got shipped up to Angola. Angola is the toughest, most high security prison in America. Listen to me. She said, I always found it funny that all of those people got shipped up to Angola and let out without a record. One of them went on to be a lawyer. One of them you see what I'm saying? She was like, I just always found that funny. So take the information, do with it as you please. This lady claiming to be Betty, but my auntie said she don't look familiar, but the stories line up. She said, but it's been years. I don't know. Girl, who knows who these people is and what happened in these doggone, these situations. Okay? Who knows? But shout out to my auntie. History in my family. Okay, stop acting crazy. New Orleans. Okay, stop acting crazy. History in my family. I got an auntie who was a Black Panther. Her husband was over there with Elijah Muhammad and all this, and gave me. And I'm getting all the tea about Louis Farrakhan because according to legend, they said, I didn't say it, but they said nobody liked the Louis Farrakhan because he was an entertainer. And they say that they favored Malcolm more than they favored Louis Farrakhan, and Louis Farrakhan was a hater. But that's a whole nother story. But with that being said, I got another auntie who owned the first gay club in New Orleans. She's a dagger. She owned the first gay club in New Orleans. I got another auntie who was the first black bus driver for the RTA. And then I got another auntie, these are all my grandma's sisters, who had the first tummy tuck, BBL queen, okay, in the city. She had the first tummy tuck or whatever the case may be. So I got history in my family. My family crazy, but it's some history around now, okay? Let's really be clear. Put some respect on the names, okay? But yeah, girl, all I know is it's a lot of questions. That's all I'm going to say. Because she said she was told that Betty was unalive. Now, when she seen the documentary and seen Betty was on here saying the same story, now she got to go back in her memory bank and say, well, wait, what happened? Because I'm confused. You get it? Girl, you never know. That's why you got to even watch documentaries. You got to watch them. Thank you for asking me that, because I want to come back and tell y'all that. But anyway, yes, it was a dagger club. They said it was the biggest club in the city, too. Mm-hmm. They said it was a big, no, listen, she went to the clear people. She went to a doctor and got her the tummy tuck and came back. And they said my auntie was like fine as wine. And when she came back with her tummy tuck, nobody knew about it because tummy tucks wasn't a thing. This was in the 70s, honey. Yes. She went and got her tummy tuck after she had her churn. Yes, she did. And they say she was one of the baddest. Do you hear me? They just didn't know she had staples on top of that cooch. Oh, girl, but you know, my auntie was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, let's get into the show. I have an honorable mention I want to give to you guys. So y'all remember? Oh yeah, it's history in my family, baby. Stop acting crazy. Do y'all remember that fight? Remember Usher did throw a skating party for Chris Brown. Y'all remember that? And Chris Brown got to the party and ended up fighting because he was mad that Teyana Taylor was there. And remember, y'all was like, oh my God, he's a monster. Kill him. Get him away. Somebody do something. He needs to be in prison. Oh my God. He's such an abuser. I remember y'all was saying that. Yay. This is him and Teyana Taylor. See, I told y'all, stop taking these people's stuff home with y'all. Them people is, listen. I ain't even, what do I need to say? Look, and look how he looking at her. Like he licked them lips. Why he all up on her like that? Look at slow motion. Look how he looking down. He ain't listening to nothing she's saying. Look, ooh. You like it what you see. Everything designer that's on me. And to the girls who holler, he don't like but video. He don't like dark-skinned women. Where that brigade at? Because Teyana Taylor ain't light-skinned. Teyana Taylor ain't light-skinned. Where is the girls who be around here talking about he don't like dark-skinned women? Shit, the way he looking at this woman, you lying to me. You lying to me. The way he licked them lips. Girl, please. She ain't light-skinned, BC. She ain't light-skinned. And Teyana Taylor is on the darker side. She's not on the lighter side by far. Teyana Taylor is on the darker side. She's not even light brown skin. Like she's on the darker side. I'm just saying. Y'all better leave CBZ alone. Leave Breezy alone, okay? Leave him alone. Let Breezy do what he do. Y'all wrong for that. Let Breezy, you feel what I'm saying? Get his ones off. Y'all out of pocket. Let him get his ones off, okay? Now let's get to Diddy. Y'all get the likes up on the video. All right. Diddy, let's get him out the way. So P. Diddy, the diddler, has hired Young Thug's lawyer for the case, girl. They say that he's trying to really put together a new dream team of clears. It says, that's interesting. Young Thug's RICO trial lawyer, Brian Steele, requests courts grant permission for him to appear as Diddy's legal counsel. This is interesting. In court documents obtained by the Neighborhood Talk, Brian Steele, the lawyer who was widely known for assisting Young Thug with his RICO trial, has submitted a motion for admission to work as legal counsel for Sean Diddy, Take That, Combs. In the pro-hack Vice, Steele states how he is in good standing with the bar of the state of Georgia and how he has never been convicted of a felony. Steele does go on to claim that back in 1999, his license was administratively suspended from practicing law in New York after failing to pay fees, claiming he was unaware that he was obliged to do so. Steele says in 2005, he paid all the outstanding fees associated with his name, resulting in his license being reinstated in June 2005. He promptly resigned as a member of the New York State Bar. In the doc, he even goes on to mention Young Thug's trial, referring to the infamous moment where he was held in contempt and arrested, which was swiftly reversed after it was determined that a judge demanded that he reveal confidential information. Neighbors, do you think this is a good move for Diddy? Y'all tell me, do y'all think this is a good move? Now, this is the man who, remember, he said that he had got some tea, and the judge was like, tell me who you got it from. And he was like, well, per my client privilege, my lawyer client privilege, I don't have to tell you who it is. And the judge was like, you better tell me. And he was like, I'm not going to tell you. And they arrested him for contempt. And then they had to let him back out because the judge was out of order. Girl, that Young Thug trial was a mess. MESS. But anyway, he is on there saying that he's ready to go down to the ground for the diddler. He said that the only two things he got on his record was he forgot to pay a couple of fees and he had got arrested, but it was revoked and had to let him out. Okay. But with that being said, he's requesting to be on the case for the diddler. Diddy, if he asks you to take a plea, you're going to be on probation for the rest of your natural life. So I wouldn't do that like Thug over here. But neither here nor there. This is what's going on the update of the Diddler's trial. Now, in my opinion, I feel like Diddy is doing whatever he needs to do to become free. I don't know if he will be free, but at the end of the day, it just is what it is. What do you guys think? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Tisha said they're gonna throw the whole book. Girl, I could give two damns about the damn diddler. I don't care what they do to him. Let them do what they want to him. Bougie Thug, thank you for the super chat. Nah, keep his ass in prison. Voo voice. Prison! Hey, I'm with you. I don't care what they do to the diddler. Could care less. Don't care. Don't care at all, girl. Bye. Let's move on. Where am I? Okay, yeah. Let's move on. Now, I want to get into the daycare abuser. Shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all get the lights up on the video. So we need to go to this daycare abuser. So there was this black woman who owned the daycare, and she was married to this guy who was a police officer. Now they opened this daycare, and the lady ended up opening this daycare, and her husband was found. I think she found it on tape, if I could recall correctly. The lady had found out that her husband was in there essaying the children. So she did what any self-respecting person with the children's safety in her hands should do. She popped that nigga upside the head, as she should. As she should. And you my husband? So you a whole weirdo? And you putting my babies in danger? They should have a statue of this woman. She is a hero. Because guess what? If she's willing to do that, after finding out something like that happened to them kids, that means she really cares about her children and the children in her safety, okay? She should be a hero. Hip, hip, hooray, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Take matters into your own hands. Sometimes the legal system ain't gonna cut it for you. You feel what I'm saying? So anyways, So she ends up popping him, and she got arrested, obviously, because the law says, oh, well, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And this is the article on it. It says, Shanteri Weems' husband arrested on child sex abuse charges after she shoots him for allegedly molesting children at her daycare facility. Okay? So they arrested him and her, or whatever the case may be. And let's get into a little bit of, I think they did an interview with her behind walls, and she had some things to say. Check it out. Oh, I thought she had something to say.
Totally broken. I felt like the blood had just drained out of my body.
At first, Shanteri Weems says she did not believe the allegations that her husband, a former cop, had abused children at her daycare, Little Kids Castle.
We were both supposed to be on this crusade of saving children. And child molestation is something that we talked about all the time.
About how horrible it was.
How horrible it was, yes. I was totally broken.
She need to be let out. She need to be let out. She need to be out of prison. She did what she was supposed to do. And he's a former cop. He deserves the needle. Do you hear me? Hang him at the stake at high noon. That's what he deserves. But neither here nor there. The lady did what she had to do, and it don't seem like she regretted it, and I wouldn't either. Because first of all, I married a damn devil. First of all, and then second of all, anybody who abused children, I have nothing for. Throw them under whatever prison, jail, dirt, throw them under there. Let's get into the article a little bit. Retired Baltimore police officer James Weems have been sentenced to life in prison for SA children at his ex-wife's daycare. As previously reported, his ex-wife Shanteri Young shot him back in 2022 after learning about his actions. According to CBS News, last November, Weems was found guilty of RSA of a minor and showing obscene matter to a minor. Oh my God, what did he? I don't even want to know. Court documents show the victims attended his ex-wife's daycare, Little Kids Castle. He came in contact with the children as he drove the van for the daycare. Weems admitted to looking at PORN while he took the children to school. However, he claims he didn't purposely show the children the imagery or touch them. Young, who was sentenced to 4 years for shooting Weems, testified against Weems during the trial. She was not allowed to tell the jury she shot Weems after learning about the allegations against him. Her attorney said Ms. Weems did something that she felt was worth it to protect those children, and she has been held accountable. So she got 4 years. That ain't too bad. She shouldn't got none, but that ain't too bad. Okay, so now they done sentenced the husband, and he got life. Hold on.
In prison, that is the sentence for a former Baltimore police officer convicted of sexual abuse at his ex-wife's daycare. You may remember this story as James Weems Jr. has been behind bars since his conviction last year. This for abusing a child at Little Kids Castle Daycare in Owings Mills. Back in March, the parent of the victim filed a civil lawsuit to hold Weems financially accountable. His ex-wife, Shanteri Young, also in prison for shooting Weems after she learned about that abuse. Story today, life in prison. That is the sentence for a former Baltimore police officer.
So there you go, 4 years, and he's got life. He deserves life. You know what I mean? Especially as a police officer, you know better, bro. And then you riding in the van with explicit stuff on and showing them, disgusting. He needs to never be able to come home ever again. He is a predator. He probably was the one telling her, bucking her up to do the daycare so he can have that access. That's what nasty, vile people do. That's what abusers do. They like to be around their victims all the time. It gives them this false sense of power. You know what I'm saying? But she got 4 years. He got life. And I think that's the best scenario for him. I wish he didn't get any time. I think that at the very least, she should have got arrested and then house arrest. Or not even house arrest, probation. Probation. Give her like 30 days of probation. Okay, give her a year. Tops. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? 4 years ain't too bad. My girl will be home soon. Hold your head up, fat. Hold your head up, Shanteri. Hold your head up. You did what you had to do. And I bet she don't regret it. The way she looked, I don't think she regretted. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to that situation. I just thought that was just disgusting and ridiculous. Okay. Now let's move to Letitia James. Y'all remember Letitia James? The black woman. I don't think she's from Acorn though. The black woman who has been out to get Trump, saying that she's going to take him to court. She's going to sue him. She has been one of those women who's been very active talking about what she's going to do to Trump. And do y'all remember when Trump first won the election, this clear man came out of somewhere and said, "And Letitia, you fat bitch, you better watch what you say about the president, because we come and get you, you fat bitch." No cap, you had to be there, bro. We talked about it on this channel. That clear man looked at that camera, he said, "And to Letitia James, you watch what you say about the president, because we coming to lock your fat ass up." Bro, when that man said that, I fell out the chair. Nigga said, "Watch what you say about the president, because if you step out of line one time, we coming to lock your fat ass up." I was like, oh my God. Well, they made good on their promise, girl. So it turns out while Letitia James was out there telling everybody else they fraud, that Trump is a fraud, girl, she was the fraud. They say she married her daddy. Tell the tease. She married her daddy. She was over there doing all types of craziness, girl. Stealing munions. Girl, let's get into it.
Presenting our respective
Wait. This is her talking about getting Trump. Let's get this first.
states. Stand up and enforce the rule of law. The president of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful,
This her talking about Trump. He not above the law. Look.
or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The Angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type.
Hold on. I think I have another. So this is the one talking about her fraud with mortgage fraud. But there was something else about her. Hold on. Here's a longer one.
The Angle has obtained shocking allegations. Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Before he gives his reactions, can I say this? This was my thing with Fannie Willis, Letitia James, and all these Black people who are so woke and left-leaning. They don't even realize when they're being used. See, this is what the Clears have been doing here lately. The Clears have been using Black people, in particular Black women, to be the crash test dummies, okay? That's what they've been doing, using Black women to go out on a limb. You got Fannie over there suing Trump, and then what happened right after that, right? Soon as that happened, they came out and found out what's her name? Fannie Willis was out there stealing money from the people. You feel what I'm saying? And it was the same thing with Letitia James. They get these Black women to jump out the window for them. And then when the people come back and nail them to the cross, where's the left-leaning people on the side that had their back and pushed them out there? I'm saying all this to say Black people got to stop doing the bidding of them people. Let them people handle their own situation, baby. If you want to go after the Trump people, you go after the Trump people. Don't tell me because I'm the judge or because I'm the this, that, and the third, I should be the one doing. Hell no. When I get out of this seat, you get in the seat and you do it. You're not going to get me to do your dirty work. Tiffany Henry is another one. Yes, it's just like that's what they do. And they don't even realize when they're being used. And like I said, when Trump come back to get you, none of them people going to be there to have your back. Look at what happened to Fannie Willis. None of them people be there to have your back. Black people got to stop letting these clear people use them as reasons to go against other clear people. People that they scared to go against. That's the gag.
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York, in not just the civil but the criminal case, was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014, of the federal code is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed that property was their principal residence in order to get loans. So this is well-tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James,
you know what's crazy too? All of them do it. All of them do it. You think she the only one doing that mortgage fraud, claiming principal properties that really ain't? All of them do it. But this is the gag. See, this the part with Negroes. Y'all think y'all could get in, rub shoulders with them people and you going to be treated the same. That don't go like that. See, they not going to pull out their T's. They going to wait for you to slip up and pull out your T's, duck, duck, goose. But again, and then Black people going to say, well, she shouldn't be prosecuted because they all stealing. Yes, in theory, but ultimately, you're in their game. You're not going to be able to do the same things that they do and walk away free and clear. It never happens that way. If you want to have a system that favors you, you have to build and create said system. But you can't join their system and tell them that you want to be treated fairly. That don't go like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like she's doing something that they all probably ain't doing. They all probably doing it. But it's just that you don't have the complexion for the protection. You get it?
If we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions.
She do what? She claimed that her daddy was her husband? Her daddy was her husband? Oh. See what I'm talking about? She got, yeah, next level.
Questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So they can this can satisfy the Thompson standard.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, we reached out to the DOJ and they have no comment on this referral. We also reached out to Attorney General James, who did not respond to us either. So again, everyone wants the best interest rate you can get. I understand that. But, you know, she's a lawyer. She knows that when you sign a mortgage application, that mortgage application.
Girl, you ain't got no homeboys you could have put down as your husband. If you're gonna lie and say somebody your husband, just the thought, I couldn't, my moral sense wouldn't allow me to put that the man who created me, my father, who helped and assisted and created me, I couldn't even put that on a piece of paper. It'll make me, get the heebie-jeebies on the inside. I can't do it. I'd rather say thank my damn husband, girl. Are you crazy? You put that your dad. I don't think she married her daddy. I think the fraud comes in that she put on the paper that her father is her husband. Now, she probably did that for, in a sense, if anything happened to her, her daddy still have control of the property. But damn, girl, yo, daddy? That's next level, girl. I don't never want to commit that level of fraud where I got to say my daddy, my husband. No way. I never want to be in a situation like that. I don't think there's nothing I need that bad to where I could put some type of stuff down on the paper like that. It's just weird thinking about it. Ugh.
If you're borrowing money, if you're not borrowing money, nobody cares whether it's your principal residence, except, where you file your taxes. But she decided to state that that was her principal residence, knowing it was not her principal residence. I didn't even know she had property. I mean, I guess she had property in Virginia and she has rental or investment property in New York. That's fine. But in the New York matter, to get the favorable rate, the building could only have 4 units, but for it looks like the entirety of this building, it had 5 units, meaning it was in violation of the actual loan agreement. And again, this is not a novel application of the law, Jonathan, as you stated during the persecution of Donald Trump. She was using all these novel applications of law to go after him. This isn't novel. This is a black and white issue. You either did or you didn't.
Right. And this has been prosecuted in the past. Now, we have not heard her side of this, but these documents themselves are quite damning. It's hard to see how the residences listed were her principal residence. The business about her father is just bizarre. Now, I'll note that one of the things that Letitia James stressed in her case against Trump is that Trump had to review documents that were filed in his name. And so she dismissed the argument that this was something that Trump's people put together. She said he's ultimately responsible. So they allege that she gave a power of attorney in a couple of these instances, but according to her own standard, that's not enough.
Well, Professor, the referral cites the case against the former Baltimore.
Yeah. Baby, see, like I say, you cannot be a crash test dummy with all of that stuff in your background. You just can't. You gotta be crystal clean, clear, and you know what I mean? Like, you gotta not have so much as stolen a piece of gum. Do you hear me? This lady went after Trump so hard, and that clear man said, tread light, I'm gonna arrest your fat ass. He did say that. Yes, he did. And Letitia, knowing that she had done maybe she forgot. Maybe she forgot that she wrote on her mortgage her daddy was her husband. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she forgot. Girl, I would have went marry my best friend. Girl or boy, I would have just went marry my best friend before I would have put my daddy down as my husband. I'm just saying. And it was during the time where they liked the gay rights and all that. Girl, I'd have called my best friend and be like, bitch, come on, let's go get married right quick so I can get this house. Bitch. You feel what I'm saying? Come on. And if something happened to me, girl, make sure you put it to where me and your churn get something. You know, my churn and your churn straight. You know what I'm saying? So that if, whoop de whoop. Girl, ain't no damn way. I swear to God, I'd have called my best friend, especially now that they have for legally divorced. Come on, bitch, let's go get married right quick. Right quick. Come on. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. Before I would have put down, I married my daddy. She must have forgot she did all of that. Girl, you can't go after the clears like that. Not the ones in power, at least. You can't go after the clears in power and have all this type of dirt in your closet. Girl, that don't go like that. Letitia, she looked like she ain't had a good night's sleep in 30 years. That's why her face cracking like a doggone slab of concrete. Girl, you is crazy. Them people, that man said he was gonna arrest your fat ass, and he making good on his promise. Now I don't want to hear y'all in the comments. But video, she's a black woman. I don't care. She made this bed. Letitia asked, she begged for this. This girl had a whole campaign talking about how she gonna take Trump down. She gonna sue him. She gonna do it. And I kept saying, y'all leave that man alone, especially the black women. Leave him alone. Did you see what happened to the last security guards? And I was talking about Fannie Lou. What her name? Fannie Willis, girl. I was saying, leave them people alone. Let the clears fight their own battle. Don't get in the middle of them clear on clear situations. And show as I got a nose on my face, she did just what she did. So it is what it is. Let them deal with her. She ain't one of us, no way. Let them deal with her. And they're going to take a fat ass down. They words, not mine, okay? He said, I'm going to take your fat ass down. He said, tread light, bitch. Keep playing with the president, and I'm gonna arrest your fat ass. That's what he said. He pointed in the camera like that. He said, keep playing with the president, and I'm gonna arrest your fat ass. He said those words exactly. I'm talking about the night Trump won. And show as shit, he made good on his promise, girl. So, y'all, Tisha, girl, you in danger. Tisha, you in danger, girl. Them people want your head smooth off your shoulders, girl. You in danger, my love. Them people want your head off your shoulders, girl. They want to put it on a stick. Do you hear me? Look at her. She got booed at a firefighters conference. Look at them. You know, that's mostly the clears over there. But look, and y'all know the original firefighters were black, but don't worry about it. Look, all of the clear firefighters was booing her. Look.
Oh, come on. We're in a house of God. First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition. Oh, come on. We're in a house of God.
You know what's funny? I thought New York was real left. I guess the clears are different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Letty talk. She said, simmer down. Simmer down. We're in the house of the Lord. Simmer down. We're in the house of the Lord. Girl, if you don't get off them people pulpit, girl, get off of them people pulpit, please and thank you. God gonna strike her down anyway. Keep playing. Keep playing. Let me read some super chats. Jeremiah, hey boo. Thank you for the super sticker. Hey, my love, I miss you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all get the likes up on the video, girl. Letitia, they want your head off your shoulders, fat, and I can't wait for them to do it. I want to go here. Hold on. Remember the firefighters. Speaking of firefighters, remember this cap that they showed y'all talking about Gayle, Dagger Gayle, and Katy Perry and them went off into space and all of that for 2 seconds. Well, the people on the internet is fighting back saying, girl, stop playing in our face. Please stop playing in our face, okay? It says the Blue Origin space expedition featuring Gayle King, Katy Perry, and other participants continue to draw backlash following this 11-minute trip to space. After the historical all-female crew successfully round trip on Monday, April 14th, many critics have called the mission out of touch, especially in the light of the ongoing economic and political turmoil in the U.S., okay? I don't care about all of that. Speaking on the matter, she said, anybody that's criticizing doesn't really understand what happened here. We can speak to the response we're getting from the young women, from young girls about what this represents. Now, the reason why people are upset is because do you know how much money it costs for them hoes to go make a round trip to the outer space? Do you know how much money that costed? Millions upon millions of dollars for these hoes to go up in space long enough to say they was there. Long enough to say they was there. So the people is over there saying, girl, this is very out of touch given that we broke and eggs is $20 a doggone cart. What are y'all doing? So that's what the people is commenting about. But you know, rich people are so out of touch. Y'all think that these people are really y'all friends and they really care about y'all. No, rich people are capitalists. They could care less about you, duck, goose. Yay! Let's get into what the girl had to say, how we out of touch and we don't understand what just happened. Girl, shut up. What she said?
Space mission this morning. That's end time shit. Like, this is beyond parody. Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet. Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space for what? For what was the marketing there? And then to try to make it like, I'm disgusted. Literally, I'm disgusted. Space mission.
You know, this girl is she's giving them backlash, but nothing makes me laugh harder than clear people who act like they care about Mother Earth. Especially clear people who got money and say like literally, like you're going up to Mother Earth and like how many resources have been put into getting you up to Mother Earth? Like, seriously? Like, read the room? Oh my God. Like, seriously? Ma'am. Yeah.
It is the highest high, and it is surrender to the unknown, trust, and this whole journey is not just about going to space. It's the training, it's the team, it's the whole thing. I couldn't recommend this experience more. This is like up there with all the, different tools that I've learned in my life, from meditation to the Hoffman process. This is up there because what you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself, because you got to trust in yourself on this journey. And then you're feeling the love when you come down, for sure. And you're feeling that strength. So I feel really connected to that strong, divine feminine right now.
By the way, you're such a badass. I love that the month of April, you're like, I'm going to space and I'm launching my tour.
It is the highest high.
Bitch, if you wanted to get high, you could have took some shrooms. You didn't have to go up to space and spend all these folks' money for 5 minutes. Shrooms would have lasted longer than 10 minutes. Girl, y'all love Katy Perry. I don't give a damn about no Katy Perry. Girl, Katy Perry was talking loud and ain't saying that, like, you guys, like, you don't understand, like, how exhilarating this experience was to, like, shoot off into the air. It's kind of like when you shoot into your arms, and the rush from the air that you can't feel is like almost better than heroin. Almost, not quite, but just to be there and be so high, like it reminds me of the time I mixed my meth with heroin, and it was crazy. It was almost as great as that. Like, you guys don't understand. If you don't do drugs, you don't really understand how high and how this is so important for me as a person who's always high, to be so high, you know what I mean? And to tote a met pipe up to outer space and hit it while you're just looking down at the earth. It was just like the most crazy experience. I would recommend this experience to all people who get high. Like, have you ever been higher than space? Like, get high and then go into space. Like, you'll never see anything like this again. Like, you guys, like, it's just so amazing. And you don't understand what this does to me. Girl, if you don't go sit your crazy tail self down, girl, please. Go lay down. I don't even believe they went up there. No way, but go lay down. I told y'all, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza, girl. It was all a lie, all a bunch of cap. But somebody said, what a nauseating publicity stunt. These rich, entitled idiots spend 10 minutes in space. Hashtag Katy Perry found the love for herself. This is out of touch with what's happening in the world today. People can't even afford to feed their families. But let's watch a bunch of celebrities go to effing space. Oh, the clear women are mad. Imagine being so privileged as to visit in space, then spend more time performing into cameras rather than actually looking out the window. Facts. This is annoying. The clears have had enough. The clears have had enough. This is annoying. They are just passengers, not crew. They don't have the knowledge and strength of a real astronaut. They wasted resources just for a short trip in space when a real astronaut could have used it. Ridiculous. Ha, ha, ha. You know, when clear people get mad, they put a laugh at the end. Hashtag Blue Origin flying millionaires into space for 11 minutes. Not astronauts, just privileged, and the media hyping it. Ridiculous. Somebody else says, why do they need this to happen? Seems pointless. Somebody else says, just a pointless effing waste of time and resources. It's absurd. A bunch of rich people taking a stupid vanity trip to space for literally zero reason. Pathetic. Rich people are weird. The fact that they had all I'm sorry, the fact that they all had blowouts, full faces of makeup, that's true, and jewelry, yes, they did, because I was trying to get the wig. To go to space is absolutely crazy. And I'm with you, LSH Tar, whatever. Then this person said, they are not astronauts. They didn't leave Earth. There's nothing historic about a millionaire amusement park ride that lasted for 10 effing minutes. Pathetic advertisement for future flights. Okay. I don't believe they went to space, y'all. I don't believe them people went to space at all. I believe that, at least back in the day when it was lying about going to space, at least they let the common public just come by and watch the spaceship go up. Girl, wasn't nobody out there but Oprah and Gayle Daddy. Nobody was out there to see it actually happen. I told y'all when the shuttle went up, it gave me Willy Wonka tease. Come with me and you'll see in a world of your imagination. That's what it gave to me. It gave me Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory tease. But if y'all want to believe that the space shuttle took off and shot them hoes up to the air for 5 minutes and it came down holding hands, and them hoes came down holding hands or whatever the case may be, then fine. But I don't believe that should happen at all. That's just me. Nah, I said what I said. And yeah, they wasted the resources, but to the clears, especially the clear women, shut up. Mind your business. Y'all, you know what resources you waste the clear women? When y'all be calling the police and acting like you victims. You want to know what other clear resources, the resources clear women race, they waste? Just time and ill. Y'all shut up. You just mad because you didn't get a ticket because your husband couldn't afford to send you up there and you ain't with Jeff Bezos. I hate to see clear people criticized, especially clear women. I can't stand to see clear women criticize people about economics and money. Shut your privileged ass up. Leave that for the poor niggas. I don't want to hear that. Only clears I want to hear drag about economics is the poor white trash in the trailer parks. They could talk. But all the rest of you clears sitting at home with your husband at work and you a housewife raising them badass kids, them future school shooters, shut your crazy ass up. Popping perks all day because you can't stand that your husband still got that woman that he told you he was going to leave. But you don't want to leave your husband because what else you going to do? Shut your ass up. I want to hear from the poor clears. I want to hear from the clears with teeth missing because all they do is smoke meth and drink Coors Lights when the Rockies is cold on the can. I want to hear from them. I don't want to hear from the rest of the other clears. Shut your ass up. Shit. All that crazy. Girl, please. All that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Girl, please, get off of here. Clears. Get off of here. Yeah, low-income housing clears. I don't want to hear from y'all. Behind the gate clears. We don't want to hear that ugly ass shit. Shut up, bitch. The fuck wrong with you? We don't want to hear that ugly ass shit. You shut your ass up. Now, let's move on. Girl, let's go get Tokyo Toni right quick. Get her over with, girl. I'm so tired of Tokyo. I am so tired of Tokyo Toni. Lord Jesus. Be offense over Tokyo Toni from around me, if you can. Please, Lord. Tokyo Toni, she grinds my gears. You know what I'm saying? So Tokyo Toni want us to believe that some woman had came. Tokyo Toni said she had $100,000 in cash, 98 to be exact. And she let this woman who was a fan stay in her house. And one day, the woman took a vacuum cleaner and bashed the back window open and placed it neatly on the side of the door so that Tokyo could see that she broke the window with the vacuum and came in and stole $98,000 from Tokyo. That's what Tokyo want us to believe. Well, she had to double down because I guess people was like, oh, girl, this sound a mess. And she found some crackhead that she probably offered $30 to play like she was the one who broke into the crib. This is just my theory, right? Now, y'all know Tokyo got the mouth of a person who been chewing on power lines. Yeah, Tokyo Toni mouth looked like she chew on tree bark for a living. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, she has to, since so many lies spew from between them teats, she had to come out here and double down and show y'all that the lady was real. Now, I don't know who this lady was, and I knew it was Cap because the lady got a shiesty on, well, a homemade shiesty on her face, and it ain't even cold outside. But the lady was like, Tokyo, I didn't steal from you. You wanted me to eat your coochie. And look at Tokyo. I did what? You wanted me to eat your coochie. I didn't want you to eat my coochie. You asked me to eat my coochie. No, I didn't. You made me put my face down there so I could spend a night. No, I didn't. And I'm just sitting here saying, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Girl, please. Let's get into this ultimacation, girl, real quick. Tokyo think we crazy. Ain't nobody crazy but you and the nigga who you lay down with. Other than that, we not buying this crap, Tokyo. Let's get into it right quick.
Bro, you want me to eat your pussy?
Bro, I don't want you to eat my pussy. Bro, I want your dirty ass. Bro, I want your dirty ass.
The lady must have said, the only way I'm doing the skit is if I get to cover my face. And Tok said, all right, cover your face. Toki, I hope you called the police because your ass going to prison. Oh, I hope your ass called the police, bitch. We want you locked up. Mind you, it's not a fight. It's just a tussle. It's just a little tussle. You know what I'm saying? Just a little wrestle. That's all. It wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Look at Tokyo. It's a little tussle, little wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Just a little 1-2, you know, just a little action, just a little friction is what it was. It wasn't even no fight, girl. Look at Tokyo. They just had a little minor disagreement. You know what I'm saying? That lady must have said, now look, bitch, I'll do it for $50, but don't hit me in my face. And Tokyo said, I'm going to just grab your hands. And she said, okay. Tokyo, bitch, if you lying, I hope your ass go to prison. Oh, yes, I do. Look at Tokyo.
Years online. Like I sent her money and everything. I took this girl in not as a roommate, not as helping her or anything. She was supposed to make me beats. No friends. I'm helping. Wasn't supposed to. No beats. 6 weeks. Go to jail. She been following me 3 years online. Like I sent her money and everything. I took this girl.
Oh, Tokyo. Oh, Tok. I sure hope you reported this to the fraud place in the insurance people. I sure hope you had renters insurance and you called the renters people and told them you got robbed right before you went live. Because I know them people gonna do an investigation and your ass gonna be in prison. You and the bad actress you hired. Now, this lady might not mind going to prison. She probably preferred because at least she get 3 hots in the cot. But let me tell you something. I'm not buying none of this, Tokyo. I don't listen to people who teats look like they got dragged on concrete before they put them in their mouth. I'm not listening to nothing Tokyo got to say. I don't believe it. I don't want to hear it. Tokyo, go find a better actress next time. Don't want to hear it. Okay? Don't want to hear it. Yeah, your ass going to prison. I sure hope you reported this. Oh, to the insurance people. I don't know who your insurance with, but I sure hope you have reported that you lost $98,000 because your ass going to jail for 98,000 years. Yes, you is. Said what I said. I don't give a damn about no Tokyo Toni. She ain't shit and moan like the other two, Tia and Carlissa. And I think all 3 of them need to go to jail. And I know Tia and Curtis ain't do nothing but guilty by association. Lock all 3 of them hoes up. And I say what I said. All 3 of them, lock them all up. Okay? Yeah. That's a dagging on the low fight. You said you ate my... I didn't eat your... You made me eat your... No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Girl, please. Girl, please. We're not buying it. We're not buying it. Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Clear women waste air, the police, and they dry tears. Facts. Clear women just, you know, yeah. Miss Crocodile, thank you for the super chat. Says small thank you for the term clear. I use it daily. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, the clear term is getting all around the internet. You know, it is what it is. You know, that's what we need to start calling them, clear. And whenever they cry, we're going to call them clear tears because you can't see them. You ever seen somebody cry and don't see a tear? Y'all, speaking of crying and don't see a tear, do y'all remember when New York, Tiffany Pollard was on that reality show and she was faking like she was crying and somebody said, but New York, we don't see any tears. She said, I'm crying on the inside. That's how the clear people cry, on the inside. They cry on the inside, so they cry clear tears. Okay, that's what we're gonna call them. Clear tears, okay? Now let's move on. We got Tokyo lying ass out the way, girl. We don't want to hear that ugly ass shit, Tok. Girl, get off of here, Tokyo. I hope the police come get your ass tonight. You get them? I hope the police come get Tokyo tonight. I hope they find some way to find a warrant, get the judge to sign, and come get her crazy ass immediately. Now let's move into this. Let's get serious really quickly. Let's move into the Carmelo Anthony situation and Judge Joe Brown. Now, before we get to the Judge Joe Brown portion, I want to talk to you guys about the judge. So, the judge, rightfully so, reduced the bond on Carmelo Anthony. Originally, his bond was $1 million, and he was charged with first-degree murder, okay? Now, Carmelo being an upstanding citizen, not having any priors, a pillar in the community, and down to the church house, the judge saw that and was like, yeah, no, he don't deserve to have no damn $1 million bond. So he reduced the bond. Saint, is you over here passing gas, bro? Saint, cause you stink. You over here passing gas, you better go over there somewhere with that, bro. I know I ain't tripping. Go lay down, bro. Go find you something to do. We gonna go outside when I get off of here. Girl, yeah, I know I'm smelling something like, I know I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? This nigga just standing right here letting them loose. You got to go sit down with all of that. That's disrespectful. That is very disrespectful. You don't do that to nobody. I don't want to smell that shit. You out of pocket. You know, I'm just standing right here, just letting them, and they low too. You don't even hear them. You don't even hear them. They just coming out. Girl, we gonna go. Oh no, he want to sit here. We gonna go outside. Say hey to the people. Stanky booty. Say hey to the people, stanky booty. Say hey, y'all. I'm over here passing gas. Say hey, y'all. You want me to let you out on the back so you can go do what it do? You want to go out on the back? I can bring you out on the back right quick. Don't play with me saying you know I don't do that. I don't play with the tongue action. Do you want to go out on the back or no? All right. Hold on. Let me get a commercial break. Y'all can get the lights up before we get up on here. Let me get a commercial break really quickly. And I'm going to come right back. Let me let Saint out on the back right quick.
Follow me, camera. But anyway, this video was for you dog ass, bald head, rainbow shopping hoes. No tire, AutoZone smelling assholes. Sherman Williams paint smelling assholes. Direct no insurance, built ass bitches. Stop sign booty having bitches. One way sign built bitches. Chicken in a box looking hoes. Oh yes, right way soul food built bitch. Oh yes, graveyard to my right built bitch. Oh yes, bitch you Popeyes on Paris Avenue built bitch. Oh yes. Troya, me and you never had a chance to really sit down and talk. But since we having this conversation, I wanted to let you know your booty look like a stepped on honey bun. A smashed honey bun. Messy Maya, out of here. Let's go. Oh yes, follow me, camera. Y'all got your pieces? What's going on? Alright, come through. What's going on, Nini? That short bob on her head. She look like a mom with that short bob. Oh yes, and when we booked the. Alright. Y'all make sure y'all go look at the videos, Messy Maya. You ugly bitch. Oh yes. What's going on, J Beauty? What is? Girl, that girl was pretty, huh?
She was pretty.
She was big, huh?
She was.
What's up? You heard me. This Messy Maya. Once again, bitch, new video. Bitch, you know I can't stop making a bitch. This is for the fans, you know, bitch. The host requested me to make him, so bitch, I'm back by popular demand. Bad built, you bad built, huh?
Uh-huh.
Bitch, if you build like a beanbag, you build like a beanbag.
Beanbag,
Bitch, if you
beanbag.
built like a Chrysler, then bitch, you built like a Chrysler at the New Orleans. You know, because bitch, see, everybody have their own side of the bed. And bitch, y'all ain't get my side. That's what I'm saying. Y'all ain't get
no fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. The Rock Nation, you will crumble. I am the apostle of God, and you will know who I am. That's right. Say that, twin. Come on, man.
Bring it up. Bring it. Rock Wayne. Rock Wayne. Rock Wayne. Rock the Wayne. Bossy, bossy, with the Wayne. You will give up with the Wayne. Rock the Wayne. Twinkle, twinkle with the Wayne. Rock the Wayne. You want it to shake it. You want it with the Wayne. Rock that. Quiet. There you go. Where you running at? No music. Where you running? Melodies. Melodies from hell. Oh. What you?
All right, y'all, my bad. I had to see if you was gonna do something. I'm back. All right, let's get into. I hope y'all got the lights up. That's why I be giving y'all them little short intros, them little short, not intros, them little situations, so y'all can get the likes up on the video. Please get the likes up on the video. That's what that be about. I mean, it's for entertainment while you hit the like button, while you run over to the like button. That's what they be on. All right, that's what that be for y'all. All right, now let's get into the judge. So the judge was receiving death threats and all types of threats since she looked at the case and said, hey, this is a young kid who's never had any intermission. That's the word I'm looking for. But he's never had any situations in the past. He's never been arrested. He's a good kid. So I'm going to release him on house arrest and lower his bond from $1 million to $250,000, where the Clears have been losing their minds and they have been threatening, doxing, and all types of things. She's had to beef up security, all type of things, because the Clears in Texas can't believe that somebody would do the right thing by this young boy, okay? And especially the fact that she's black. They've been dragging this lady all up and down the street, saying all types of things. It's just ridiculous, okay? Now, let's get into it. It says Carmelo Anthony's judge, Angela Tucker, beefs up security amid threats after reducing bond on ordering him to house arrest in Austin Metcalf murder. It says, Judge Angela Tucker, who is presiding over the Austin Metcalf murder case, has beefed up security upon receiving alleged threats after reducing suspect Carmelo Anthony's bond. On April 2nd, Carmelo, 17, was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Austin, a 17-year-old football and track star, died in his twin brother Hunter Metcalf's arms at a track meet where the boys' schools both met. In, how do you say that, Kai Kendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas, okay? This is very key. I want y'all to hear this part. It says Austin, a 17-year-old football and track star, died in his twin brother Metcalf's arms. They like to put that for shock. Like, oh my God, he was so innocent. But listen, at a track meet where both the boys' school met. So that means wherever this track meet was held, both teams came to this area. It wasn't Austin school. It wasn't Carmelo school. Both of the teams came to this mutual public place for the period or for the purposes of this whole thing. Now, I'm just now hearing the fact that he was a track star, because from what I heard prior to that, Austin was not a part of the track team. So now, according to this report. Now he's on the track team. The details get murkier and murkier, as they go on. But again, they're trying to muddy the waters. It says, before allegedly pulling a knife on Austin and stabbing him in the chest, Carmelo claimed he was told he was sitting in the wrong seat. Although Carmelo confessed to the incident, he is also claiming self-defense. On April 14th, Judge Angela Tucker reduced Carmelo's $1 million bond to $250,000 after his lawyer argued that $1 million was unnecessary as Carmelo has no history of criminal activity. Hours later, Carmelo posted bond. He was released from the Collin County Jail, fitted with the ankle monitor and ordered to house arrest until trial. He cannot leave his house without a prior court approval, must be supervised by a parent/guardian at all times, and must check in with the judge's bailiff every Friday morning. He is also prohibited from using social media and contacting the family of the alleged victim in any way. I think this is fair. I think this is very, very fair. He's home. He's got a strict probation, or not probation, a strict, what do you call it? He has strict bond situation. He can't go nowhere. He can't be on social media. I think this is fair. This gives him time to beef up for this trial and make sure that everything's okay. But what happens is the clears over there who claim this ain't about race. That's why I told y'all, don't ever let a clear person look you in the face and tell you something is not about race while they benefit from being the race that they are. Okay? Okay? So they got upset because the bond was reduced as it should be. He doesn't have any priors. He doesn't have any situation that will make him need to have a $1 million bond, and the clears are losing their mind. Now, she's done had to beef up security because she's probably afraid of her life or afraid for her life, okay? And this is a big problem because people are painting this narrative and making it seem like this boy is just the worst thing since anytime, and he should be in jail and in prison. And we're gonna get into Judge Joe Brown and what he had to say, because I didn't too particularly like that. Okay. Now this Dominique Alexander dude, I need to look into him. Now this Minister Dominique Alexander, remember we talked about my aunt talking about the man came from New York and nobody knows where he's from or who he is. That's the same with this Dominique Alexander dude. This dude pops out of the sky from nowhere. And all of a sudden, now he's standing next to Carmelo Anthony. Now, rumors and things have come out about this Dominique Anderson dude with all these priors and all these situations. He's not a good look standing next to Carmelo Anthony. And I don't know, I feel like it's the powers that be that sent him, because they always got to send one of their own to make sure that things go a certain way. But if I were the family, that's just me. If I were the family, I would get away from this Dominique Alexander dude. Nobody knows him. I don't give a damn if he put minister in front of his name. I don't know who he is. I don't know why he's here. You need to distance your child from this man and anybody at this point. Anybody at this point. You need to distance your child from them, because you don't want their situation to be a bad look on the trial on your child. Okay? So, let's get into what he had to say, the Dominique dude. Carmelo Anthony is safe at home. This moment is a reminder that a community united can never be divided. The journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice, for family, and for the power of people coming together to protect our youth. Thank you to everyone who stood with us. The fight continues, but tonight, Carmelo is home. I don't trust this Dominique Alexander dude. I don't trust him at all. Who sent you? Who sent you? And why are you here? I get what he's saying, but I don't buy what he's saying. Why are you here? Next to him in the photos, all in the videos like Diddy. I would get my child far away from this dude. See, black people in this chat, you have to understand that the old folks used to say it all the time, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Do you understand what that means? When your old people used to say all skin folk ain't kin folk, that means that just because someone shares melanin with you does not mean that y'all are on the same page or y'all are even the same at that point. We have to get away from thinking that everybody black is on the same page, because they're not. They're literally not on the same page. And until we get that through our thick skulls and leave that Pan-African bullshit behind, we gonna continue to get screwed, okay? It happened in the Black Panther Party. It happened in the Civil Rights movement. It happened in every single thing we've ever had. We get these folks come out here, and because they look like one of us, we assume that they're one of us, and you don't even realize that that's how you about to get played. Hell, it was black people who helped us get played out of government in doggone politics. That's a whole nother story. It's gonna go over too many people's head. I don't want to go there. But listen to what I'm saying. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. They can't send a clear person in here to do their dirty bitten, because we gonna catch on. They understand that we still on the same wavelength of thinking that everybody black is the same. Every time you run across that, think about the old people in your family that say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Just because you share melanin don't mean you are the same. And kinfolk look out for you and take care of you. And all skin folk, just because you share melanin don't mean they're there to look out for you and take care of you. Get Carmelo away from this man. Get him away from this man, please. We just saw a tether pastor tell us to be docile and just accept getting our head blown off by the police. We don't need this. We don't need this at all. Get your son away from this man. And why is he posting? Does he want to be put up here so that we can see him and get clout? Or maybe we can dig into it? Is it all part of a master plan for us to dig into his background and realize he ain't crap, so the clears could say, oh, look, see, the whole family is all a bunch of degenerates. Look at the friend or the guy who's standing with him. He's got all these priors. My whole time, allegedly, I heard Austin Metcalf daddy got all the doggone priors, but they're going to suppress that. Remember, they control the media. They're going to suppress that. Okay? They need to separate this. They need to separate this all together. Get this man from around your child. Please and thank you. Get him from around your child, okay? Now, I seen him in every doggone video. Everything you turn around, every time I turn around, I see this man. And I'm sitting over here saying, because when I first seen him, I thought he was the daddy. But then when I realized he wasn't the daddy, I said, well, who is this fool? Who is this fool? And it turns out he's a damn op, in my opinion. So now let's get into the judge with the FBI. So it says Judge Angela Tucker, who slashed Carmelo Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000, is now under added protection. The Collin County Sheriff's Office told TMZ that following Monday's decision, court staff and concerned citizens reported threats against Tucker. The FBI and CCSO are investigating. The Sheriff's Office. The FBI and CCSO are investigating. The Sheriff's Office also confirmed it's pursuing whoever leaked Tucker's private info. I hope they find that person. Oh, I hope they find that person. If the individual responsible is identified, they said potential charges could include unlawful disclosure of a resident's address or telephone number and obstruction or retaliation. Tucker made her Twitter page private after the hearing, presumably in response to the backlash. Anthony's attorney argued the teen had no prior criminal history, but prosecutors pushed for the $1 million bond to remain citing local murder case standards. After reducing it, Tucker imposed house arrest and ankle monitoring. Anthony is accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf at a track meet earlier this month. Why is this important? These are the same clears who told you that this ain't about race. Now y'all over there threatening the judge. I hope they find whoever that is. And to be completely honest, social media find them better than the police. Okay? I really hope they find whoever leaked that lady information and put him in prison, because you can't do that. So yeah, I had a video I wanted to show y'all. Hold on. I think I shared it on my Twitter, but there was a video I wanted to show y'all. I think if it's not on here, then we're going to get on it with the Judge Joe Brown situation. Is it here? Hold on. No, I don't think this is it. We're going to get on it with the Judge Joe Brown situation. But I hope they find out whoever leaked that lady information. And I hope they go to jail for real. And I hope they prosecute it because you cannot do that, okay? Now, I want to go here with it. So I have been hearing, I'll be listening to the playback of Tariq Nasheed's playback a lot of times. And I always hear the clears go up to his channel to tell Tariq, oh, well, Tariq, it's different because I like Judge Joe Brown's take on the situation. I like Judge Joe Brown's take on the situation. And I'm sitting on here saying, well, what is Judge Joe Brown around there saying? Because all the clears, they coming on here talking about how Judge Joe Brown has the best take on the situation. But I told y'all, all these people are compromised. In my opinion, they're all compromised. Now, this is from the Real Dana Fair Use. I just want to use a little bit for commentary purposes. But either way, for some odd reason, Judge Joe Brown has this hard stance on the fact that Carmelo is wrong. He even talks about how on public property that the student has a right to govern who comes under the tent. He also talks about how Carmelo is stupid because he shouldn't have said anything. He's a 17-year-old boy. He's a child. Why should he think he has to know the law? Okay? And again, this ain't to drag Joe Brown for real, but it's just, I'm scratching my head at this situation because he's so hard. He's so hell-bent on Carmelo just being an idiot, stupid, you know what I'm saying? And he just don't know. And that's what's wrong with these boys. So what? He would have got his ass kicked. But if he would have got his ass kicked, then oh well, it wouldn't have been a big deal. He still shouldn't have had a knife. And I'm over here saying, what? Like I told y'all yesterday, anybody who's saying that he was wrong for having a knife, anybody in this chat who carry anything, I don't care if it's mace, I don't care if it's tasers, I don't care if it's a gun, I don't care if it's a knife, I don't care if it's scissors, I don't give a damn if it's a basketball. If you have anything that you can use to defend yourself with, and in a moment you are accosted and you use that thing, you should be going to jail too. By your own logic, you should go to jail too. So if I walk up to you and say, I'm about to pop you in the back of your head, and you just so happen to have some mace on you, and you spray me with the mace, I should be able to press charges on you and you go to jail. Because why you had mace? Why did you have mace? You don't need mace. You at the grocery store. Why would you bring mace to the grocery store? This doesn't make sense. It's a public place. Nobody in the grocery store, unless you were prepared to come in here and mace somebody, and it had to be premeditated, because why would you have mace in your purse at the doggone grocery store? It don't matter if somebody came to you and started with you and hit you first. Why did you bring the mace to the grocery store? That's exactly what these people are saying. And when I looked in the comments under this chat, it ain't nothing but clears all through the comments. Oh, we've always loved Judge Joe Brown. He's always had such an unbiased take and da-da-da. Of course they're going to say that. He is reflecting their thoughts and it helps their narrative. So don't tell me that little boy was wrong for having a knife in his bag if you have anything in your possession and on your person that could protect you at any point. Because like I say, if he shouldn't have had the knife in his bag, then you shouldn't have the taser, you shouldn't have the mace, you shouldn't have the blicky in your house. Because if I break into your house and then you pop me, you wrong, because why you got a blicky in your house? You don't need no blicky. Why you got a blicky? Me and you a woman and I'm a woman. We could have fought. Why you pop me? Yeah, I want you in jail for life because I'm a woman just like you. And me and you, instead of you popping me when I broke in your house, me and you could have had a fist fight and it could have went that way. Why all of a sudden now you have to pull out the blicky? Nah, yeah, you need to go to jail. That's exactly how y'all sound. That's exactly how y'all sound. But let's get into a little bit of Judge Joe Brown, and you'll see as this goes on why the people are parading and hip hip hooray for Judge Joe Brown, Freemason ass. Let's get into it.
the bond are house arrest and ankle monitor. She told him to stay off social media, and he has to personally call her bailiff every Friday morning, not his parents, but him. And there's a list of other things that is set. And if he violates that, he'll return to the Collin County Jail.
You should have put an ankle bracelet on him.
They did.
Look, right out the gate. Now, the man just told you he's out on bond, and he literally said he has to wear an ankle bracelet. He got to check in with her bailiff, all of this stuff. The first response from Judge Joe Brown is, you should have put an ankle bracelet on him. It's given personal. It's given, I don't know what this is given. Let me let him finish.
Okay. The thing here is this. He's the one that shot his mouth off and said, I defended myself. But you see, that's...
Sorry, Dad. But what's wrong with him saying I defended myself? I'm confused at that point.
Idea of, I had a right to do that. No, you don't. You have a right to fist fights. I mean, if all you're going to take is a physical beating that is not going to be life-threatening, even if you're going to take that beating, you don't have any justification for using deadly force to resist it.
Pause. Now, I'm not an attorney. I didn't go to law school. All I know is common sense. First of all, let's be clear. It wasn't just Austin who approached Karmelo. It was Austin and his brother. And according to what I'm hearing, the daddy said it was a third party there as well. First of all, let's start there first. Secondly, how do I know this just going to be a friendly fade? How do I know y'all might not stomp me out and knock me out into my head and I catch a seizure and die? How am I supposed to know that when these people are approaching me, mind you, not just one person, how do I know that when these two impossible big ass white boys approaching me, telling me I need to leave and we about to get into a fist fight, that I'm going to walk away? I don't know that. There's no way for me to know that. So for him to say, oh, well, he didn't need to have a knife. You just get your ass whipped and you move. What are you talking about? He's a judge. He's been doing this for a long time. You're not going to make me believe that he's saying this in good faith. You are not going to make me believe that he is saying this in good faith. But it gets worse. Hold on. It gets worse.
It's just you got your butt beat. Plain and simple. But if all you're facing is getting your behind whipped, you can't kill somebody under those circumstances, because it must be something that causes a reasonable belief that you are in danger of suffering death.
Pause. Daniel Penny went behind that black man on the subway, choked him out, and he died. He didn't have a weapon. He didn't have a gun. He didn't have a knife. He didn't have mace. He didn't have nothing. With his bare hands, Daniel Penny killed a black man on the subway who had not touched anybody. Talk about it. So you mean to tell me that that's okay, and that man, you think the black man, if he had even known that man was coming toward him, that he thought that he would die on the subway from a hand-to-hand combat? Just because they didn't have weapons don't mean that this young boy knew that I was going to be able to walk away from this situation with just a scratch. There's no way to know this. There's no way to know this. How can he say this in good faith? There's no way to know that I'm going to just get jumped, get knocked around a few times, and everything's going to be good. There's no way to know this. People die from street fights all the time. What are we doing? What is going on? Why are the rules changing in this situation versus others? And then, and by the way, it's a stand your ground state. Something about this is not sitting right with me.
Or serious bodily injury, which is not a split lip, black eye, or bruises. It has to be a life-threatening injury. Mm-hmm. And that's not likely to happen between 17-year-olds in an unarmed fist fight. not
you,
without
getting
some
jumped.
particular circumstances. Actually, it looks worse now that you tell me they were not acquainted with each other, because he, unlike the previous tales, would have no reason to think this particular individual was going to do him harm. And all that's going on is, by the way, evicting somebody in a trespass situation. And believe me, under the law, when somebody's trespassing, you can lay hands on them to eject them.
Well, he wasn't trespassing.
Pause. This is crazy. You can I pulled up the law on that, but hold on. Wait a minute. It's so much he's saying. So Carmelo was supposed to assume that these big old collard green eating white boys was just gonna jump him, and he was just gonna go home and nothing was gonna happen, right? Okay, bet. That's what Judge Joe Brown wants us to think, that all you was gonna get a bus slip, it wasn't that big of a deal. Then he says that he has the right under law to tell them for them to tell him that he's trespassing. So I pulled up the law in Texas about trespassing. Okay, it says in Texas, you cannot simply trespass on public property. Texas Penal Code 30.05 defines criminal trespassing as entering or remaining on someone else's property. It says including public property with their effective consent, okay? This includes entering or remaining on property where you have been asked to leave, where there is notice that entry is forbidden. Let me put this in clear layman terms to you. So let's just say you have authority to take over this portion of the park. Let's say you went down to the park, y'all have an agreement. They say, yep, you can have this portion of the park between 3 and 6. All right, bet. Let's say between 3 and 6, you put up barriers or something, signs around your area that says, hey, no trespassing. Yes, in that sense, you would have legal right to evict any person on that property, because during that time between 3 and 6, you have the legal authority, and plus you have signs up saying no trespassing. I don't want anybody on this property or in this area unless I invite them. That was not the case at this public park. That was not the case. That was not. And then the part it says it has to be where the notice that entry is forbidden. So meaning they have to have something under this tent that says, hey, no, only students from whatever high school. But all this, oh, they have legal right to just say that you can't do. No, that don't go like that. There's stipulations to this. You can't just, even in New Orleans, we was just in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. In New Orleans, and I get it, Louisiana is a different state, but in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, people set up their tents and all of that stuff, and they kind of like carting off areas. Well, the state and the city had already came out and said, listen, you can set up the tents all you want, but the public property, the street is public property. You cannot say that certain people can't be in certain areas just because you set up right there. Now, I get it, Louisiana is different from Texas, but I'm reading you Texas law, okay? But at the end of the day, he is not in a position to say, I'm talking about Austin, they are not in a position to say that this boy couldn't be under that tent, because the law states that, first of all, you have to have signs, number one, and number two, it has to be known that it is a restricted area. At these track meets, those tents do not give you restricted areas. It doesn't. Okay, then it goes on to say, here's more detailed breakdown. Public property and open access. While many public areas like parks and sidewalks are open to the public, there may be specific areas or times when entry is restricted. Remember, it says, for example, a park might have a restricted areas due to conservation efforts or specific events, or it might have hours of operations. Just like I told you, if you have a family reunion and you say, you go to the park and say, hey, I need to rent out under this gazebo. And the park say, okay, fine. That is those specific times and areas where you have dominion over that park, but only during the time that the park allows you. But you don't get to just put up a tent somewhere and then tell anybody and everybody, hey, you can't come over here. It has to be specifically put, and you have to also have signs up saying that you cannot come into this area. All right, let me, it says restricted areas. If you are in an area that is specifically designated to you as restricted or off limits, you are trespassing if you remain or enter there without permission. Notice of forbidden entry. If there are signs, posted notices, or warnings indicating that entry is forbidden, you cannot enter or remain on the property, even if it is technically public. Remember, I told you about the signs. Revoke permission. Even if you initially have full permission to be on the property, you are trespassing if the permission is revoked or you have been asked to leave. Example, if you enter a business after hours, you are trespassing because you don't have the business's owner's permission to be there at that time. Okay, the consequences: trespassing in Texas is a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of $2,000 or up to $2,000 and up to 180 days in jail. If you are caught on agricultural land within 100 feet of the boundary, it is a Class C misdemeanor. If you are carrying a deadly weapon, it is a Class A misdemeanor. So let's get into it. I'm not a lawyer. I ain't never been to doggone law school. Girl, I don't even like reading law documents, but I know common sense. Both schools met up in a public setting. The school put up a tent, okay? Unless there were signs all across this tent or somewhere in visible areas that says, hey, restricted area, do not enter, no trespassing. Signs have to be visible. You cannot say that this young man can't sit under your tent. Oh, and by the way, even if that was the case, Austin does not own the tent. He is simply a student from the school. So how is it that he has the legal authority to go and try to remove this young boy? If let's just say they had the signs up on the tent. Austin should have got someone in charge to go remove this boy. Not Austin and his brother take it upon themselves to go up to this young man and have him removed. Austin Metcalf and his brother was wrong. We just read the law. You don't just get to say you can't come over here. That don't go like that. Not on public property. Not in your home, in your your car, things that you own. That's different, but not on public property. Okay, now let's get back into what the judge got to say.
Well, yes, he was in this tent. I saw the video for the tent, and it's
but it's you can't.
It's on the other team.
But no. When I say he wasn't trespassing, it's not against the law or it's not against any type of policy that you can't go under another school tent.
Well, yeah, but
Let me just finish.
That's not what it's about.
Let me finish. Can I finish, please? He wasn't trespassing because there's no policy or prohibiting you from doing that, one, and then two, it was raining, so you dash under for shelter. So that's
what you get wet otherwise. But you see, it is trespassing if somebody tells you. You do not have license nor invitation to be up under here. This is reserved for people in a certain category. You have to leave.
Cap, I can't just go to the park right now and put up a tent and have me and Saint sitting under the tent, and when somebody come past under the tent, say, hey, you can't be under here. I don't own the ground. I don't even own the space. I haven't even gotten authority to say this is my space. That don't go like that, Judge Joe Brown. He's trying to say it don't matter if he got wet. It don't matter none of this. They have the authority. The children have the authority to invoke the fact that they can't be, or not invoke, but to tell them that they can't be under the tent. That's not true. And these clear people are taking this because he's black and they are running with it. This is very, very dangerous, extremely dangerous, extremely dangerous. But he's just so adamant on just being against the fact that this boy could have had any type of self-defense in this situation. And it's making me squint my eyes, if it makes sense. Okay, let's get back into it because he's just so adamant.
You've been advised that you no longer have an invitation or entitlement to be there. You have to leave. If you don't, you're in a condition of trespass.
Okay,
it doesn't have to be any law.
Hey guys,
hold on.
I just found an amazing.
This is very suspect to me. No, I was wondering why all the clears kept saying, well, Judge Joe Brown said, I kept wondering. I said, let me go see what he over here saying. And now I get it.
Second. If that's the case, Austin McCaff did not have a right to tell him that because he was not the authority. He was not a school official. He didn't pay for that tent to be there. He wasn't a sponsor.
Correct.
So
he doesn't have to be.
He didn't have the authority to do that.
He could have had it designated. When I went to school,
He was not.
When I went to school, they had hallway.
Pause. He said he could have had the authority designated to him. Where's that coming from? Who said that they designated Austin and his brother to be the hall pass monitors under the tent? Where did he get that from? But again, it's just that he's so adamant. This is so weird to me. Hold on, there's more. It gets worse. Now he's going to talk about the time he was in school and they had hall monitors. Look.
Hallway monitors. And hallway monitors were students, and we could say you need to show a pass if you're out here, otherwise you need.
He wasn't a monitor.
He doesn't know that. The actor who is charged says he told me I had to leave. He has to show that or have from the proof.
Carmelo didn't say that. The twin brother said that they went up to Carmelo and said, hey, you need to leave. Carmelo has not said that at all. The twin brother said, me and my brother went up to him. We saw him sitting under the tent, and my brother said, hey, you need to leave. That's what the twin brother said. Carmelo didn't say that.
Rival.
It doesn't, yeah. So what is he
on? That's not trespassing.
Listen to me.
It's not trespassing.
Listen to me. It is. Because when somebody tells you, you should not be in here, you have no business in here, you'll have to leave. Now,
so then why do you
have to listen? If he's going to rely on the whole line of logic that he's got, he's going to have to lay it out. I knew he had no authority. How does he know that? He can't show that.
How does he know he does?
He can't show it. And the other person is simply claiming it on behalf of the school. In other words, if you're a student and a trespasser walks through the front door of the public school, but they're not a student, but they're at student age, the students, anybody else can inquire and say, why are you in here?
Okay, they can inquire, but you cannot wait. But you cannot direct or put hands.
Yes, you can.
You cannot.
And look,
that's why you have
look, many a time.
Let me say something here. That is why you have security. Yes, I do. That is why you.
Judge Joe Brown said because they're students, they have the right to not only inquire but enforce. So you mean to tell me if I work for the bus company and without giving the legal authority to tell people who can and can't sit on the bus, I can control who gets on and off the bus? This doesn't make any sense, Judge Joe Brown. Just like you say, how does he know he wasn't delegated the authority? How does he know he was? He's just a student like me. How am I to know that you've been delegated as the authority to say who can and cannot come under the tent? Mind you, this is if they were reserved this area, the area was reserved by the school to the people, and also there are clear signs saying no trespassing. But the clears are eating this up. They're like, yes, Judge Joe Brown, there's a black. See, he's a black. He's saying the same thing. Look, you guys are just emotional. The judge is very logical. You guys are emotional. You need to be more like the judge. They can't wait to find a Sambo, Uncle Tom, boot-licking ass Negro to come on here and repeat their narrative so they can feel like they in the right. They can't wait to do it. They can't wait to do it. This really upset me. Hold on. There's more. Because he arguing this down to the ground.
You have security.
That is not why you have security.
That is why you have
security. Is your business.
As a student.
Security is acting as your agency.
Or
your agent. All of this stuff comes in because all of this stuff
on somebody.
All of this stuff comes in, but no. You don't, that's just something that somebody has on as a superfluous requirement. It's dangerous, so you have security. that does not deprive anybody of the authority to demand the person explain why they are there if they themselves have a legal status or a permitted status.
What are you
or
talking about? I don't
invitee, or in other words, if you're in some place and you have the license or the invitation to be there, you may inquire of a stranger what they are doing there.
No,
and you see one thing that people made up.
So if we at a restaurant and I'm invited to be in the restaurant and some clears come in, I have the right to go up to the clears and say, hey, what are you doing here? And they go, well, we're just trying to get something to eat. No. You need to leave. I have the right as a patron or as a person who works at the, stop it. Oh my God. Even at a restaurant, only the manager has the authority to say who can and can't be there. This is not right. This is not true. Nothing Judge Joe Brown is saying makes any sense. As students, they do not, and then we're assuming that they were delegated the authority to say who can and can't be under the tent. This is an assumption we're making. It hasn't been said anywhere that my son Austin and his brother had the authority and was delegated the authority to go to these kids and say who can and can't be under the tent. This is what we're assuming. This is what we're assuming. This is insane to me. Like, and you know what's crazy? I've watched Dana and I watched the judge, and typically the judge is right and Dana be cutting him off. I ain't gonna lie. Typically the judge be right and Dana be cutting him off. But in this position, she's right and he's wrong. And guess what? We don't always get it right. Sometimes we get it wrong. But in this particular situation, she's in the right and judge is in the wrong. He's going off a whole bunch of speculation and assumption. We don't know none of this to be true. This is the judge just using this by saying it because he's thinking that this is possibly, you're using the possibility as fact, and you can't do that. You're a judge. You know better than this. Where are you getting this information? Who told you that Austin and his brother had the authority to say who can and can't be under the tent? I'm confused. Like, where are you getting? Let's start there first. Let's start at the beginning. Who told you, and where is it written in any report that Austin and his brother had the authority to say who can and cannot be under the tent? If we can start there, then we can move on with the rest of the narrative. But as it stands now, I haven't seen it in anything. Only thing I've seen was that the brother saw him under the tent and said, hey, you need to move, and the fight ensued, and here we are. Because see, they're missing that part. They're not bringing out the fact that there was a physical altercation in this process before the knife was drawn. They're not talking about that. They make it seem like this little white boy just came over there and said, hey, you need to move, and Austin just went rogue with a knife. Like, this is insane. This is all a bunch of speculation. You don't know that they had the authority to do any of this, but we're using this as fact. You're a judge. You know better than this. And I'm not even a lawyer or a judge, but I just have common sense. Let's get back into it.
Big mistake on, and big mistakes, is that they think that, so what if I'm trespassing? He doesn't have the authority to move me. He has to call the police. A person who...
How do we know he's trespassing? Do we know that that specific area was designated for that team by the park and that they had full rights to say who? Do we even know that part? We don't even know that part. So where are you going from with trespassing, Judge? Oh, girl, this made me so mad listening to this. I cut it off. I ain't gonna lie. I stopped listening to it around about this part because I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Who is announcing trespass? If he does so and he is not out of line doing it and somebody violates the trespass, he may do it at his own peril, but he can lay hands on somebody and eject them. And the point is,
he can?
He can. In other words, you can toss the person out through the door, out through the portal, out into the streets, lay hands on them and eject them, shove them, grab them, yank them, remove them. You
No,
see, if somebody is trespassing, that is
that's
not.
but he was not trespassing.
He is. He
How,
had.
how do you know?
In
he's
other words,
trespassing?
let's take your line. We have all of these other things because of security measures and because of the fact that there may be a fight or violence that occurs. That's on the upswing. So you have a student in the wrong place. He's being advised this is some area that is reserved for school A. You belong to school B. When I went to high school, we couldn't have night football games in the Southern League in Los Angeles because there were so many fights and so much disorder. So we had a concern with public safety. You did not have members of the opposite team going over to the other side. And this is 60 years ago, more than 60 years ago. So it ain't nothing new. And it just didn't happen because you wanted to keep down the violence. So you have one student coming over to.
Oh, wait. You're saying because in the 60s, the Negroes didn't go on the other side of the team stuff, that's the same situation going on now? From what I understand, and my child never ran track, but from what I understand, they say when them schools be putting up them tents, children from all schools be under these tents. They're saying this is common practice. Again, I don't have a child who ran track. My baby played basketball and softball. But from what I'm hearing, from what I'm understanding from people who have children or people who ran track themselves, they say them children be under all, you know what I mean? Like that they don't, even though the people put the tents up, that these children sometimes will be under different people's tents. Like, the analogy he's using from back when he was in school don't even match what's going on in 2025. Like, it doesn't. You can't use that as an example.
To the other side, I want to get in out of the rain. Well, maybe the other kid was wrong. Maybe he laid hands upon him, but no how, no way does he exercising this apparent authority, this laying upon of hands, or even battering him by doing an unpermitted touching. No how, no way does that justify somebody using deadly force on him.
So let me talk.
So he ran his mouth off and said, I was defending myself. Now, when he makes...
Oh, wait, Judge.
Hold on. Let me finish. The law is kind of a slam dunk. It's been the law for the last 1,000 years. So, or developing to where it is now for the last 1,000 years, and for the last 100 or so, it's been consistent. If somebody lays hands on you, you may resist. If you use deadly force against them and all they did was to lay hands on you, you better good and damn well be able to prove sufficient disparate force that you are likely to be killed or suffer life-threatening injury. Now, the problem is...
What's your credit card debt balance?
Wait a minute. The commercial came just in time because I'm of confusion. First of all, the first thing we have to do in this situation, number one, is prove that Carmelo was trespassing. That's first. First, we have to prove or be able to show proof that Carmelo was trespassing. That's number one. Number two, we also have to prove and show just cause that Austin and his brother had the legal authority to evict anyone from under the tent. That's two. We just read the law for Texas. So we got to prove trespassing. We got to prove that they had the legal authority to evict anybody from under this tent, okay? And we also have to prove that they attained the rights to have the legal authority to say who can and can't sit under the tent. Let's start that first. Secondly, the judge is on here saying that if you put hands, mind you, first of all, it wasn't just Austin. It was Austin and his brother. Let's be clear. See, the brother got on here and said, oh, well, my brother just asked him to move. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, my brother was on the ground. Cap, y'all thought y'all was about to jump that boy. And I believe both of them put hands on Carmelo. In that situation, how do I know that when me and you fighting, you're not going to take my head, slam it on the beaches and stump me out to where I can receive brain damage and or die, catch a seizure? I don't know what you about to do to me. I'm supposed to assume that we just going to tap out. We just gonna have a little friendly fade, and I'm gonna walk away fine, and you gonna walk away fine. I'm to assume that. That's what the judge is telling me that I should believe. That I am to assume that this is just gonna be a friendly fade. I'm gonna get jumped, but I ain't gonna have no life-threatening injuries though. I'm gonna just get jumped, and I'm gonna just whatever. In a matter of life and death situation, fight or flight, your brain does not have time to say, I assume that these white boys just want a friendly fade and we're going to go about our business. Especially when I'm being approached aggressively, being told that I need to leave. I need to move. See, this is why the grassroots movement is needed. Because you get people, I appreciate my elders, and I take what I can from my elders when it comes to advice and wisdom, because they do have that. I'll give you that. But sometimes when the times change, there's a reason why those people aren't in positions anymore, because they're stuck in a different time. This is the thing. State law, I just read to you that state law says that you have to be approved to be the delegating authority. You also have to reserve, and you have to put up signs, and then you have the authority to have a person accused of trespassing. It doesn't say that you get to put hands and feet on them. It does not say that. It literally does not say you get to put hands and feet on a person. I was a security guard for Blockbuster for 2 hours. I gotta add this in. I was back in the day, I was a security guard for Blockbuster for 2 hours. I went to the whole week-long course. I got the ID, the badge, I got everything. I had the whole outfit. In that position, the first thing they told me when I got the Blockbuster is I cannot restrict, or put my hands on anybody in the store, even if they are in the midst of stealing a product. As a security guard, listen, as a security guard, I was directed that if I see someone stealing, I am to call 911. I, as a security guard, I went through the training. I did not have the legal authority to put my hands and feet on somebody because I feel like they're either trespassing or the manager wants them gone. So now you tell me this. How in Sam Hills do these students who happen to go to a school have the legal authority to not only evict Carmelo from under the tent, but also put hands and feet on him to get him to leave? Show me the law where they say that they can do that. Texas law, I just read it to you. None of this said that you can put hands and feet on a person if they trespassing under your temporary public property. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? If a security guard can't put hands and feet on you, what in the hell makes you think that two students that go to a school could put their hands and feet on you if they deem you to be trespassing? Again, we still have to prove that Carmelo was trespassing. This is very, very dangerous rhetoric coming from the judge. And these clears are eating it up everywhere they go. Well, Judge Joe Brown said, Judge Joe Brown, I just went over and listened to the judge. And the judge said that he thinks that Austin is going to be vindicated and that Carmelo is going to spend life in prison because, I mean, he was literally trespassing. Who told y'all, and where does it say in any type of paperwork, any report or anywhere that number one, Carmelo was trespassing? I haven't seen it. Number one. Number two, who gave them boys authority to lay hands and feet or even to evict anybody? I haven't seen that neither. This is all cap. Judge Joe Brown, this is very, very dangerous. And at this point, I appreciate your wisdom, but go sit your old ass down, bro. Go sit your old ass down. This is not for you. This is beyond your years. We appreciate you for your wisdom. We appreciate you for everything you've done in the past, but go sit your old ass down, bro. Let's get into some more.
I was defending myself. So the defense is going to have to show, maybe, or the prosecution is going to have to show that it did not have a situation where this kid was in danger of suffering death or life-threatening injury.
He was about to get jumped.
All right.
He was getting jumped.
And he's not going to be able to do that. He stabbed the boy in the chest. He shot his mouth off before they had a chance to question him. It's called a spontaneous utterance, which is admissible. And he said, I was defending myself. At that point, he sets the stage. They, the prosecution being they, can use that statement in evidence against the defendant. Now the defendant has to claim self-defense, and the question becomes, what about the situation caused him to have a reasonable belief that he was going to suffer death or serious bodily injury, which translated comes into life-threatening injuries?
I can tell you, two big old collard green eating white boys, two in the possible, two big old collard green eating white boys, while I was sitting down minding my business, stood over me, sweat and rain dripping from their clear hair, was over there yelling insanely and loudly and aggressively, telling me that I need to be removed immediately. I asked them to leave me alone, and they threatened me. Hands and feet were put on me by both the clears, and I was not in any position to know if I was going to walk away from this situation. Mind you, these two big old linebacking ass white boys. Now I see, that's probably my package. Now I see what these people be saying. Shut up, Saints. I think that's my package. Hold on. Girl, that's a salesman. I ain't going out there. I ain't trying to buy nothing. Anyways, but yeah, that's why. This is why I feel like I was threatened. I was under the belief that me by myself getting jumped by two big old collard green eating white boys, that I could have possibly lost my life. Yes, I do. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is very dangerous rhetoric. Hold on.
So what about that situation caused him to have that development? And since he did not have that, he can't show that unless he's going to show some particular circumstances. And it's not going to wash, because if he tries to introduce through people his weight without him testifying, it's going to be, okay, so what? Are you or are you not aware that the defendant played football? Okay, you can call in a coach, several coaches. Do you have any 130, 135, 140-pound football players? Yes, I do. What do the linemen on your team weigh? So-and-so and so-and-so. What is the line average for the front four, front five in a high school situation? I went to a place, Southern League. They averaged out 240, 250.
I want to say something.
Where does he come into it?
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
You talk long enough. Now let me interject.
Well, it's long enough. It might be.
Let me talk without you interrupting me, because you said a couple of things in there, which is pure speculation, because you're throwing in.
His whole argument is speculation, Dana. His whole argument is based off nothing but speculation. The judge is on here talking about, oh, well, because he played football, the other boys play football. You meet big old boys like that all the time, so you shouldn't be scared. On a controlled field, in a controlled football game, that can be completely different from just erratic, clear boys standing over me ready to take my head off. This is insane. This is insane. This is insane.
Now trespassing. Now that is, I ask you not to interrupt me. That's not trespassing. And you use the example of when you was in high school. That was 60 goddamn years ago.
And the law is exactly
Stop interrupting me, please. That is you inserted your own personal opinion.
Of course, that's what you do.
Why are you constantly interrupting me? Let me finish.
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy.
Lord, this was a lot. This was a lot.
When you were in high school, that your high school had security or violence issue with another high school. That's your situation. You cannot use that in this because there was no pretense of any type of violence or tension between the two schools. There was open tents on bleachers. So there was no such thing as trespassing in none of those policies. If you hopped under somebody's tent real quick because it was raining, that's not trespassing. It is open space. Nobody owns that stadium, not the school of Austin McClav or Carmelo Anthony. So trespassing is not a goddamn issue. That's not even relevant because he was not trespassing. I get your analogy. You walked in another school's place, but that was you walked under another school tent and that wasn't your school. And the two guys or the one guy said, get from over here because this is not your team, this is not your school, and we don't want you here. And that's when the incident apparently ensued. But you can't throw trespassing in there because it wasn't trespassing.
Yes, it was. But
You can't and I asked you to stop interrupting. I didn't interrupt you. There's no trespassing because that was not their property.
Correct.
That was not their property. Trespassing is when you trespassing against someone's property. That was not Austin McCaff's school's property. So it was just a tent. That was a majority of people that was running under that school was sitting under that tent.
This is another thing I want to add. Like I said, you can have dominion over public property, if given legal authority by the public, right? So meaning, like I used the example with the park. If you and your family want to rent out a gazebo to do your family reunion, if they say, okay, fine, you can have it between 1 and 5. In that situation, you have the authority to say who can and can't come under said gazebo between 1 and 5. At 12:59 and 5:01, whoever they want could come under there, can come under there, okay? Now that's first. Secondly, he's using this trespassing case like it's been said that the boy was trespassing. Nowhere, no how, nobody has ever said that that boy was absolutely trespassing. So I don't understand why he's running with this whole trespassing narrative. And let's say the school did have the legal authority to say who can and can't come under the property. We do not know, and it has not been said that the school delegated the authority to Austin and his twin brother, okay? There's nobody that said that these two boys had the authority to evict anybody. And even if he had the authority to evict, he did not have the right to put hands and feet on nobody. And this is Austin and his brother, okay? So the fact that he's just rolling with this trust, who told him this? Who's in his ear? I'm really trying to figure this out. Who's in the judge's ear that's telling him that, oh yeah, this boy was just straight up trespassing, and the judge's like, oh, there it goes. Like, yeah.
He went there not to just chill out, just for shelter for a quick minute and then leave, but it was an altercation that took place. You're now throwing in trespassing.
I heard this too. I want to bring this out, Ashanti. Thank you for saying this. She says it was Austin, his brother, and 2 more boys. I heard that the daddy was on there saying it wasn't even my boys. It was a third boy who came and said something that sparked the whole situation. By that logic, it's more than 2 boys. It's 3 to 4. And you mean to tell me this young black boy wasn't supposed to believe that his life could be in danger? Are we kidding? I'm going to see if I can find that. Who have the clip when the daddy said that? If you have it, send it to me, voodoodollpodcast@gmail.com. If you have that clip where the daddy was saying it wasn't even my son, I'm going to look for it. The daddy was saying it wasn't even my son. It was a third boy who really started it all off. I'm going to find it. If you have it, send it to me, voodoodollpodcast@gmail.com. Let's get back into it.
Maybe the DA would try to throw that in. But
look, that's a spurry.
No, and I'm not finished. and I'm not finished.
Dana, that's spurious because you're not even on. You're way out of your league on
I'm
this.
not way out of my league. You are, and
You're
I'm
way out of your league. Look. Okay. Analogy
I'm about to finish. No. I'm about to finish, and then you could go. I'm not out of my league because I'm just replying to your own personal opinion. I'm not replying to
not
something
personal opinion.
It's personal when you threw in trespassing. That's personal. You personally think that it was trespassing, and I'm saying that it's not. It can't be because it wasn't their property for anybody to trespass on.
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work management.
Facts. Dana eating him up this time. Dana eating his ass up, baby. She's absolutely right. He's assuming that there was a trespassing situation.
Defeat that to show you what you're going astray from. Let's supposing that this came to the team bench. The teams don't own those benches unless the game was being played at their particular high school, their venue. That bench would then be assigned to the school. But even if it was in a public stadium, they are assigned that bench. So let's supposing the football team or the track team is sitting out on the bench with the coach standing in front of them, the water boys at each end, the trainers with the towels and stuff in case there's an emergency, and 4 guys from the opposing team walk across the field and decide to sit down. Do you mean they're supposed to have to call the police to say, you can't be here interfering with our team, where you hear the team instructions, where you're sitting this near to the action?
Yes. If a security guard has to call the police to do that, what in the hell make you think 2 students have the authority to do it? Make it make sense. If anybody has done security, you know what I'm saying is true. A security guard does not have the authority to put hands and feet on a person. They can't even legally detain a person. So if a security guard don't have the right to do it, who in the hell, what makes you think 2 kids that go to the school have... Yeah.
Leave, go back on the other side of the field. See, they can say that. And when they tell somebody that, that sets up a condition of trespass because that other athlete, that student from the other school, has no business trying to intrude themselves sitting in the midst of the other team. Now, see, that's what comes in. And if you have a smart DA, they'll bring that up. And then the judge is not going to contradict that.
Wait.
Charge the law.
But that DA could definitely bring that up. But that is going to hold.
What the situation is. What is likely to happen is the DA is going to say, at the worst, what this dead boy did was announce that the defendant was trespassing and ask him to leave.
Okay.
And at that point, I don't care whether he laid hands on him or not, there was no justification, according to the prosecution side, to deal with moving it to deadly force and stabbing this guy in the center or in the chest area, the thorax, with a knife.
I've had enough. I'm going to give you guys the link to go over there and watch this. Make sure y'all go support Dana. Fair use. I was just using it. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys the link. I think that's how you copy it, huh? I think. Hold on. I want y'all to go over there and watch the live. It's about a 2-hour live, so I want y'all to go over there. Yep, there you go, and watch the live. But let me just say this because this is very, very important. I'm going to pin the link to the live at the top of the channel. This is very, very important, and I need everybody to listen to me. This is what the Clears have been doing since the beginning of time. They find one of us. Hold on. They find one of us. to be the fall guy, to be the aha, see, told you. They find one of us to be that, and they use that against us. They are so excited that Judge Joe Brown, who is a judge and a black man, is on their side saying that they're in the right. They are so super excited about this that they just, everywhere they go, well, the judge is saying this and the judge is saying that. The judge's whole response is off of speculation and assumption. Nothing the judge has said as of yet has been proven or a fact. None of it. None of it. Nothing the judge has said, any of the arguments he have put forth had any fact based in this particular case. None of it. It's all, well, he probably did get delegated the authority. And well, he probably did. None of this is fact. And the fact that he's so adamant about it as a judge, knowing that none of this is fact, is sending me. It's really sending me. Like I say, agree or disagree, I don't really care. But when you get up on these platforms and you say this stuff like this is extremely dangerous. This is very, very dangerous to the black man, because what we're doing is, while we sit up there and fight for injustices on our end, clear people able to knock us out and unalive us like 90 going west, and we have to fight that. It's so hard to be on the grassroots situation fighting against injustice, and you not only got to fight the clears, you got to fight some of your own. If you like the old folks say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Okay? Keep this between us. Let us have the discourse back and forth between us. Stop getting on these big ass platforms making a fool of yourself because you think you're getting a pat on the head by these clears. Them people don't give a damn about you, nigga. They just gonna use you to push their narrative, and they gonna be on to the next. This is very, very, very dangerous. It's another thing I want to show y'all. Hold on. The link to that live is at the top of the chat. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and support. Now remember, the daddy first came out and said that Austin just, was in a bad situation and this is not a race thing. And I feel bad for the killer because this is unfortunate on both sides. Remember, I told y'all, don't believe them clear people when they tell you no duck ass shit like that. Them people does stuff like that, and they know that they have the protection or the complexion for protection. And in said protection, they get to play like they not racist, play like they not going to use their whiteness to make sure that they get the so-called justice they deserve. But the whole time they're going to do just that. I keep telling y'all this. I'm not making this shit up. I'm telling you what's real, okay? Now, talk about family dynamics. Somebody was like, all the clears all over Twitter making making Carmelo to be this horrible person. Oh, he's just one of those at-risk youth. That's not this. This boy was an honor roll student. This boy, is a honor roll student, come from a two-parent household, two parents that has been together 16, 17 years. Whereas Austin's family, to me, looked like backwoods trash. Let's get into the daddy. The father has had accusations and convictions, allegedly, of SA. Here it is. Austin Maggot Food Metcalf dad is a SA, and Austin is one of those, is the one from the broken home. I knew it. No means no. No wonder MAGA Food cannot keep his hands to himself. I bet he will not. This is whoever wrote the caption. Okay, it says right here, Jeffrey Charles Metcalf, that's Austin's father, was arrested for SA. Okay. Now, while they want to paint this picture like the wife and this family are Christian, wholesome, clear family, the real situation here is the fact that Austin is the one came from the broken home, not Carmelo. Okay, it's the other way around. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Austin Metcalf and his brother and possibly two others approached Carmelo Anthony in my opinion, for what I believe to be a bully, and it didn't work out in their favor. And I have nothing for those boys. Nothing. I have nothing for them. Now, you can call me evil, you can call me this, that, and the third, but I'm not one of those slaves that have compassion for my oppressor and for my master. I'm one of the ones who want to slit his throat. Now, you be a good old boy or a good old gal, and you have all the compassion for people who wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. I got too much going on with my own folks to be worried about all these other folks. I don't have it in me. The real problem here, it seems to me like Austin and his brother were raised by a broken family, and they probably ran that household like most of them clears do anyway. The churn run the whole shit. They were thugs, in my opinion. I feel like what they did was aggressive. It was disgusting. And I feel like the brother should be charged with complicity to homicide. If me and you go rob a bank and you get killed, not only am I getting armed robbery, guess what else I'm getting? Complicity to homicide. I feel like the brother should be complicit to the homicide of his brother, and he needs to go to prison. I said what I said. Because if y'all hadn't approached that boy, your brother would be here right now. But because y'all decided to be some bully-ass mother effers, y'all went over there and thought you was going to approach that boy. Now look at your brother gone. You need to go to prison. Everybody ain't playing. Everybody ain't playing. Oh, and by the way, the brother's words will be used against him during the trial too, because he said a little bit too much. He said a little bit too much at the very beginning. Okay? A little bit too much. Nicole Smith, thank you for the super chat. George Zimmerman should be in jail for Trayvon Martin. Of course, but he walking free. And the same black people who mad at that is over here talking about Carmelo need to be put in jail. It's weird, bro. It's super weird. Freedmen's Network, thank you for the super chat. We absolutely love you here in Brooklyn, New York, sis. We was on Judge Joe Brown bumper that night about this cooning. Thank you so much. I'm glad somebody was in the chat on his ass, because somebody needs to be on his ass. He's outdated. I think he's great for wisdom, but in this situation, he needs to go sit down. He's working against the grassroots, and we can't have that. So Freedmen's Network, thank you, and everybody else who was in the chat windmilling on his ass, because he needed to be. And he's just so adamant about it. It's weird. Thank you so much, Freedmen's Network. And I love y'all in Brooklyn too. Shout out to my people in New York. Man, this is crazy. And I'm just wondering why all these clears is running everywhere saying, but the judge said, I'm like, let me go see what he over here saying. Girl, I was like 3 minutes in and I cut it off. I listened to more right here. Then I listened. 3 minutes in, I was like, I can't. That's why I went pulled up the Texas state law for you guys so that you can see who was right and who was wrong and who had the authority and who didn't. Thank you so much, Freedmen's Network. Portia Lamo, thank you for the super chat. The twin said his brother grabbed his backpack during the argument. He sure did. Where we from, there could be a weapon in there. Plus, it's 2-on-1. Shake my head, Joe and I don't care. He giving me opties too. But you're right. His original statement said the brother grabbed Carmelo's backpack. Originally, he don't have the authority to grab his belongings. Mina Harris, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for keeping up with this case. Justice for Carmelo Anthony. That was real self-defense. Judge Joe Brown sounds ignorant to be a judge. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. As a person who works in the judicial system or who has worked for so long in the judicial system, for him to have this theory in his head and him running with it with facts, I just don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't. Freedmen's Network, thank you again for the super chat. Your lighting is up, sis. The bottom line is judge is frustrated with the youngsters of today really don't fist fight no more. And I get that. And I agree. The youngsters don't fist fight no more. But that ain't this and this ain't that. That ain't this and this ain't that. Because, see, when I was coming up in the 90s, you get into a fight, you ain't have to worry about nobody pulling out no knife and stabbing you. You didn't have to worry about nobody beating you to death to where you getting seizures. You didn't have that to worry about. These kids today don't even fight fair as well. So I get that. They should be fighting more. But in a situation where I'm getting jumped and we in Texas and it's two big old white boys and I'm just a young black boy, hell no. 2, possibly 3 or 4, Hell no. Hell no, because I know these white boys could kill me right here, right now, and walk away tomorrow and be at Denny's. Hell no. No way. No way. No way. Thank you for the super chat, Classy K. Thank you again for the super chat. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday. Hey, boo, today is my 56th birthday. Happy birthday, Classy K. Happy birthday. Thank you for the super chat. I hope you have many, many more birthdays. Amina Lambert, thank you for the super chat. Uncle Ruckus is out here boxing with God. Not boxing with God. I feel like the burden of proof is now on the former judge. Didn't his uncle kill 2 sheriffs? As a retaliation back in the day, this fossil needs to go lay. Girl, tell it. He sure did say his uncles killed 2 sheriffs back in the day. He sure did. You are absolutely right. Thank you, Amina. And Mitra, thank you for the super chat, says he talking about this young man, but wasn't he just looking sick in the face because his wife was about to leave him? He need to sit down and be quiet. He did what? His wife was about to leave him? I don't know. I haven't been following the judge, child. But let me tell you something, though, because I got to get off of here. Y'all, please be careful. The ops come in all forms. They come in clear. Some of them could be tethers, and some of them could be your own kind. That's why I tell y'all over here, we have to get back into that law of treason. Treason has to be practiced again. Bring back treason to the Black American community because, see, back in the day, they would have popped Judge upside the head. You feel what I'm saying? You feel me? Freeman's Network, thank you for the super chat. Voodoo, one eyewitness said they took his phone and smashed it on the ground, and so that's robbery. Why isn't Hunter being charged? Now, that's another thing. I did hear they took his belongings. Them taking his backpack is robbery. Them taking it. So if they really took his phone and smashed it, man, look. But again, you wonder why all of this is being held in the bite. Like they don't want us to see all this evidence any other time. Let me tell you something. If Austin Metcalf, thank you, Freedmen's Network. If Austin Metcalf had any small little bitty, weeny, teensy, bitsy piece of innocence in this case, you don't think they would have plastered that shit all over the internet? Why you think it's so quiet about the evidence? Why you think we ain't got no videos? Why do you think that is? Because it's not looking good for Austin. I don't need people like Charleston White, Judge Joe Brown, and all these people muddying the waters because y'all want to be up under master. I don't need that. We need to let the facts play out in court. Like I said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And remember this when y'all leave away from this live. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, okay? There's a deep meaning behind that phrase. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Even the kinfolk sometimes ain't kinfolk. You get it? With that being said, I'm about to get up off here. Love y'all down to the ground. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Catch me tomorrow evening or tomorrow morning for the morning Joes. See y'all later. Peace.
Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go. It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat. You know what I want? Blaze up. Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wow, 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 wow. For your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy. For your boy. Hustle for your boy. Fix it for your boy. Drop it for your, lift it up.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo doll time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.